Is that the button? Yeah, I think that's the button. That's the button for sound.
So they can hear us?
They can hear us now, yeah. Sorry to interrupt your doom scrolling.
No worries. I was enjoying it. Time flies when you're on, like, just
yeah.
doom scrolling. Yeah.
Well, I'm running around trying to figure out how to get a secondary monitor set up on this side of the table with a laptop that refuses to duplicate desktop. It only will extend to desktop, show it on one, or show it on monitor two. So I duplicated the window.
Modern problems require modern solutions.
Yep. So I have a copy of the chat over here that hopefully I can see. Oh, look at that. Steve D down says, we can hear you and see you. Hello, Steve D. Thank you. How are you doing this evening? And how are you doing this afternoon, Felicia?
I'm here. I'm awake. I got some yummy coffee.
Good. I'm glad.
Mm-hmm.
It's a live stream. What are we doing?
I see you got some tubes and some greebles.
There's lots of tubes and greebles. Thank you. Yes. Let's try and put it on task a little bit. Maybe.
Like this thing.
And then
What is it?
And then we'll pick up something rando.
It's in the greebles pile.
It is in the greebles pile.
I haven't seen it before.
Fair enough.
What is it?
That is a, I suppose you could call it a pneumatic ram. Is that appropriate? Is it still a ram when it's that small? It's a pneumatic piston. It's an air-based
what in a
piston.
cup?
Yeah, exactly. Did what in the? So this would be hooked up to a air compressor with this particular fitting, which is pretty much identical to the tubing that I bought for running the Proton Packs. This actually came off of a pneumatic can crusher that Craig had purchased Shop Gremlin a little while ago. And it had a fairly neat but overly intricate, I don't know how to put it, mechanism for feeding the cans. So it had a little hopper on top, and yeah, it does that. There it goes. It's sort of like a PTFE tube for 3D printing, but
What's PTFD?
it's the clear. It's the same type of plastic that tape is made out of that I gave you for sewing, but it's made in a tube, and that's what the filament runs through to feed your 3D printer.
Okay. That makes sense.
But the can crusher had an overly elaborate hopper. It would hold six packs worth of empty cans, and you would hit the button, and it would crush the can in the bottom and retract, and then it would do this like double finger thing that dropped the next can down, so you could crush it again. So you could kind of quickly go through 6. Then you have to stop and reload it. And then you can kind of go through 6, right? And on many occasions, if the cans weren't perfectly round still, if they weren't, just cracked open, drank, and gingerly set back down, they would fall wonky and get gummed up. And then you're sticking your hand into this machine that if you just hit the button, it'll hurt you.
You can't introduce different variables into that machinery without having
jamming
issues.
So we've over time we've reduced the hopper size. We literally kinked one of the cables because it's the same type of tube. It was just all black. So we folded it over and put a zip tie on it so the air wasn't going to the tube anymore, and got it down to where basically it's just a spot where you put a can and crush it. You put in the next can and crush it. And the other thing that was a benefit, the larger pneumatic ram that was designed for crushing cans, much larger than this, would withdraw enough that you could put in the tall Red Bull cans, and you could put in the tall Monster cans, the 16-ounce cans.
Arizona green teas?
I think so. Those were those as well. I think. But the hopper would only do the 12-ounce cans. That's 333 milliliter for all of you people who are educated. But
Classic Coke.
Yes, classic Coca-Cola can. But yeah, so removing all that just made the process of crushing the cans easier, simpler. It took a variable out. And with the fittings that came with the blue tube that I bought for doing the pack, it's like, oh, hey, we can rewire a little bit. And so we did and took parts off. And so now it only has the one thing that does the actuation and not a bunch of other stuff that's like zip tied shut out of triage. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I use my foot.
Yes, I've done that too.
Yeah, and back in the day, my dad would have us all help him out with that, and we'd use this as a sledgehammer.
Yeah. Yeah, I've had friends do the sledgehammer. So growing up, my dad had a friend. I guess he knew through a railroad. I don't remember how he knew him. His last name was literally Doolittle, and of course, everyone gave him all sorts of shit for that. And
got some good jokes.
yeah, Doolittle would also recycle. This is probably mid to late 80s, right?
Before it was cool.
Before it was cool, but it was still a doable thing. Doolittle would literally just spill all the cans out in the driveway and drive his truck over them. He may have only done it once, but they talked about it forever.
To do anything.
Okay.
There are a million ways to do anything. Yeah.
But yeah, Doolittle was fun. The Dad loved to go hunting. Dad loved to do venison deer hunting, and really, really, really wanted me to get into it, and I just didn't.
Yeah.
It's like, I enjoy the camping. I enjoy the campfire. I enjoy the mountains and the trees and the nature. And I enjoy, all of my dad and his friends being idiots around the campfire at night. But when it came down to actually hunting, this isn't fun.
That's okay. I had like a total breakdown when I realized what my dad going deer hunting meant when I was 3.
Oh, right.
Like, I was like, you're killing babies, Mom! That's you! And like, it just... So it was never something that I was ever into.
I don't hear about it as much anymore. I wonder if, it was just that generation really enjoyed the hunting. I mean, hunting still happens.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm just in the wrong circle, so I'm not hearing it.
I think we're in Sacramento where we're not in such a rural space, because my dad would go to Utah with his uncles.
Well, okay. Fair enough. I've got family in Utah that hunt still.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's where you have access to it, because
sure.
Apparently in Utah all the deers go to the residential areas during hunting season
because
they know they're safe.
Yeah, they figure that out in a hurry.
Yeah, so I think it just depends on where the deer are.
Okay, fair enough.
I feel like up here it's more turkey.
Yeah, there's more turkey up here.
What people I know go to do the huntings.
Yeah, I had a friend that talked about bow hunting turkeys.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. So my dad was deer hunting. It was still here. It was just in the mountains off of 80 here in California.
You need proper licensing.
Yeah, things have probably changed. It's probably harder.
I know you can. I just don't know that it's worth it.
Yeah, not to me.
Not to me.
Camping? Yes. Camping for the sake of trying to sit really still so you can kill something? Not important to me.
Right?
No offense. If you enjoy hunting, go enjoy it. It was just not my thing. I would rather cut foam and huff glue and work with chemicals.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all.
I did enjoy the deer jerky that my grandpa had in his freezer for 20 years.
Oh, okay.
My mom cooked with it, and
it
was part of our diet.
Venison's good. I mean, I liked the meat. I liked venison liver. But
I was a kid. I had no idea what I was eating. I was just, you eat this, and I said, okay.
Yeah, pretty much. Shop Gremlin says, wild turkey, the only edible part is the breast.
Oh.
Yeah, probably. With wild turkey. Because they're going to be too active, so I bet the drumsticks are just too rough and gamey or whatever.
I don't know. I don't really think about that.
You drink wild turkey, right? No, I don't.
Yes.
See, Marvel Guy's here. Hi. Hello, Odin and Felicia. How are you doing? Hello, Marvel Guy. I'm not trying to take your job away from you.
No, you're fine. Okay. I appreciate it. I can see it from both sides.
Yeah.
Now.
Oh, good.
Because that's kind of bigger font.
Yeah, this is a bigger font. This display isn't as...
Just so you guys know, there's a display right here. I'm touching it.
Yeah.
And there's a display here. And then right here is our monitors. Just out of your guys' view. But right within ours, so we can see everything that's going on. Are you going to go out so that they can see? The setup!
The setup! With cables!
This is your guys, and this is you guys, and this is...
Us guys?
Us guys, yeah. Ad Vixen, shh, don't tell anyone, I'm still at the wedding reception.
Oh, wow.
That's okay. The other day I had to go to a kids' concert, band, where they're playing things. And I had my earbuds in, and I was just listening to my little podcasts. Between the sets that I didn't have to listen to. You know
right.
What I mean?
Yes. My kid isn't part of this one. I am not worried about this one. Whichever kid I'm here to see is not part of this one. I don't care about this one. Sorry, I said that wrong to begin with.
It's okay. I just think it's funny.
Yeah.
But I won't tell nothing.
Yep.
Your secret's not safe with me because now the internet knows. Sorry. I told the world.
You told the world that you listen to podcasts at school concerts.
Oh, no, they're in a wedding reception.
Oh, that one. Gotcha.
I told their secret.
Yeah, but...
My secret, it doesn't matter. It's over.
Right. Oh, Schultz Division is here. Hello, Schultz Division.
Welcome.
So, yeah, that was
you got
deer hunting. So what the hell did I get on the deer hunting?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
Oh, Doolittle crushing cans. Okay.
Oh, yeah. Your dad's friend.
Dad's friend, Doolittle. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes.
The other fun thing they always try to give my dad hell about, I know I've talked about this before in the stream a long time ago, he loved to barbecue or over a campfire cook a roast.
Okay.
So he would go out and get the roast that was in the string bags, or he would wrap one up in twine and then suspend that with a teepee of sticks or whatever he had over the campfire. And every year, everybody always told him, you're going to burn the strings and the meat's going to fall in the fire and everything's going to taste like ash.
Was it cotton and did he get it wet?
The meat just dripped on it, kept it wet.
Okay, yeah, because you throw those in the oven and it's usually fine.
Yeah.
You can boil an egg in a paper cup in a campfire.
Yeah.
So, it's not surprising to me. Like, I went to girls' camp. My mom was obsessed with, like, all the different ways you could cook in campfires, like making mud apples, like burning hot dogs in the thing. Anyways.
I haven't heard of mud apples, but I can see
like
that
fire.
Working. As a kid, I used to, campfire, I'm going to play with the fire. I would take a styrofoam cup with water in it. I thought, oh, this would be great because I can watch the cup melt and the water spill out. No. All the styrofoam melted except what was in contact with the water, and it was paper-thin styrofoam still holding just the water. Yeah, because boil an egg in a paper cup, absolutely.
But paper cups are less toxic.
Just a bit. Just a little bit.
But you do like the the chemicals.
I love the toxic smells. Sorry.
That's okay. My dad was a mechanic, so they're very comforting to me. It just smells like home.
Yeah, agreed. Dad was a machinist, so yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Turns out they're toxic. Who would have thought?
Who knew?
Yes, but you got
Shady,
everything
I fell
dug
asleep.
Out.
Sorry.
That's okay. Shady,
what?
Wake up.
Good morning, Shady.
No, I'm teasing.
Yes, I got everything dug out.
They can't see.
They can't see. Well, give me the mouse. Let's see.
Well,
Sorry.
None of these show that space. Or you took a picture, didn't you?
I did take a picture, but I got to bring it over here so I can see it. So it's here. Switcher to... just hit cut. Where's cut? I don't use the there it is. I don't use the computer graphic one that often, so I don't know where the buttons are. Yeah, I clean up the space. This used to be a huge pile, and every one of these tools was turned around the wrong way and facing the wall, basically. So this is...
they got moved in and set aside and not set up.
Yeah, exactly. They got moved in for the sake of getting moved in, and then that was it. And then buried with boxes that were as high as the handle on the drill press there in the foreground. That's a 6 foot tall. All those tools are 6 feet tall-ish, by the way.
Are they really taller? Yes, they are.
Yeah, they're all standing, so they're all about 6 feet. They might be 5.5. Yeah, the drill press is about as tall as you. But yeah, so I've got them all set. None of them are plugged in yet. I haven't actually used them yet, but I got them set up so I can use them. I've got those bits and pieces of wood behind them, so there's the sawdust, foam dust, whatever comes off of them, I'm not filling up the tracks of the garage door with debris, or there's boxes stacked behind the...
so those are protective.
Those are protective. That's just to keep crap away. It's a little nicer for a close-up. It won't look like a garage door. But that's literally just a piece of honeycomb cardboard from a big screen TV that John bought at the media center. That's all that is a big piece of cardboard.
I heard you should be careful about throwing away your cardboard boxes because people will be like, oh, they got a new TV.
Yes, that makes sense.
Yes.
Oh, wow, with the graphic thing over here.
Area 51, morning. Hey, Felicia, welcome.
Good morning.
Area 51 also says, is the laptop performing better? Well, it works and we're here, so we don't say anything else because it might decide to hiccup.
It booted faster, Chrome booted faster, and the Blackmagic design software booted faster. So all that did boot faster. So, yes. He was here last week, and he does IT for his day job. So, both my edit computer and this laptop, he came in and did his IT thing to it. Not trying to... I don't know what it is. It's black magic,
It's
right?
called magic.
Yeah, it's magic.
It's like when people ask you to do something creative, they don't know how you do it. They just expect magic.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's what IT people get all the time. I have no idea what you do, but make it not.
Could you make it work? Sure, let me
plug it in.
Have you tried turning
it off and on again?
Hey, look, it works. Jerry Cosplay also does IT, so yet another, So I'm really glad I've got two... And they do it for big companies. They're not like IT for, mom's store.
No, I genuinely appreciate IT people. They are what makes the world go round, and you don't ever know that they do until everything goes down. And then you're like,
oh, yes. So, yes, it seems to be. Thank you very much. I would have interest in the future in getting out of whichever Windows environment this is, or unless it's a restriction of the video card, because it won't duplicate the displays, right? So I've got a monitor here so I can see the chat, and then the main display of the laptop. It's either all on one, all on two, or extended. The option for duplicating the display is not there. So it duplicated the window. Hopefully that won't screw up YouTube. Duplicated the browser window.
We will find out.
Yep.
Eventually. Schultz Division says, my dad was a blacksmith, but most of his life he was a truck driver, though. Retired now.
Nice.
Fun.
Odin with the Triforce saw needs more purple. Yes, the Triforce saw could use more purple. That's actually a Delta brand saw, and that's been their logo forever, is those three triangles. Also, it's the Blacktron logo from Lego from the 80s. But they're inverted.
Have it on ancient Japanese temples.
There you go.
So that symbol is pretty.
Yeah, it's four triangles, or three with a negative space. It looks like a fourth.
We gotta.
Yeah, with the nerds, it's Triforce, and I'm not faulting anybody for it.
Right.
Dan Does Junk says, be sure to check out Shady's new drop here with an Amazon link. Yes, so our friend Shady on Discord and on Odin Makes, and one of the most active Minecraft people, he's been injured for a while, right? He's been hurt for a while and has been dealing with repercussions of his ankle or foot, or which one of those, right? He's having trouble. Got to the point that he had to leave his job. So what Shady's been doing is playing around with his art. And he drew up a picture of, I can't remember exactly what he called it. It's three women all wearing the same outfit with different colored hair around like a toxic... I'm describing it so horribly wrong. But he actually drew this. He did send it into AI to help, so the AI could help clean up his art. There's that, and then there's the cuts hiding behind my water bottle. So it is human art that has been, it's like a comic book in a way. The human penciled the art, and the computer inked it and colored it. And then he also spent a lot of time refining it and did more Photoshop work after the fact.
I've had every single one of those hair colors.
Yes, you have.
but not since I've been on your live stream. Because
No.
as soon as I started doing live stream with you, I stopped dyeing my hair.
Yeah.
Yeah. And up until, anyways.
You had peacock hair at one point, I think.
I did.
Yeah.
And rainbow.
And rainbow. Oh, okay.
So
yeah, I guess those are
peacock,
different.
I've had rainbow. Yeah. Anyways, yeah.
So this image, with the link that Dan has put in the chat, is actually available on Amazon as a t-shirt. So this is Shady venturing into the world of original art t-shirts, which I think is actually pretty cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
Way to go, people. Be creative.
Yeah, way to go, people. Definitely be creative.
I always encourage creativity. Aria 15. Yep, magic.
Yep, magic.
Exactly. You're a wizard, Harry. Schultz Division just emptied my media cache for After Effects on my computer a couple days ago.
Yep.
685 gigabytes. Jeez.
Uh-huh.
We're not even going to look at mine.
No, yeah. You do enough editing, you do enough of stuff with After Effects, and they both do the same thing. After Effects has the media cache, and Premiere has got the temporary video files. It's where it's rendering the video so you can see it, but it's not the final result. It holds on to that shit for like 30 days or 60 days. I think you can adjust it.
Oh, I'm a data hoarder.
Yeah.
Because I'd rather have it than lose it.
Right. Well, at least
You're also a data hoarder.
I'm also
You're
a data
worse
hoarder.
than I am, but
Absolutely.
you also have a channel and stuff. But
I'm trying to hoard the original. These things that Schultz is talking about are temporary files that can be recreated from the original files that's within the program. Yeah. And so by eliminating those, you have more room to work on other files. We used to have to do it all the time at the TV station. We'd have to go in and empty out our... when we got busy, because it would time out like 30 days, right? But if we got busy, the scratch drive would fill up, and you would have to empty it out manually. I literally have a scratch drive on my edit computer that was just for that. It's now full of a bunch of other crap too, because I'm a data hoarder. But that was its point at first. Another big bonus, if you can, this isn't easy with Adobe and editing products, you put your Adobe programs on one drive. You put your scratch drive on a different drive, and you have your media source on a third drive. And if you do that, it will run the fastest your system can, because you're not having a...
It makes complete sense.
Yeah.
And I understand it, but I also...
Right.
You know, when I'm in the thick of it, I'm not thinking about it, to tell you the honest truth.
Yeah, there's that, and, you know,
I'm probably
a
just
lot
cursing.
of laptops have one drive, and so that's where it's going to go, because you got no choice.
I got a gaming laptop specifically so that it could edit.
Oh, okay.
Because...
That my edit computer was a gaming computer. That's what it was billed as when I purchased it. It was spec'd as that because absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep.
Will Connors. Hello, everyone. Hello, Will Connors.
Hello, Will Connors.
Add Vixen. Oh wow! Last stream we were just talking about Felicia's Morticia cosplay, and this time she's like Netflix Wednesdays. LOL. Before we started, I looked at the monitors and I was like, "Hey, I'm going for Pugsley today."
Yep.
I like it. Thank you.
I need a bald cap and a robe.
Cheers.
Cheers. Enjoy your poison coffee cup.
Right. This is my little sister gave me this for Christmas.
That's awesome.
You know, she's trying to poison me.
Of course. And you're trying to poison me. It burns! It burns! Okay, no. Coffee's actually pretty cool at this point.
Right. Marvel Guy, I actually pre-ordered the Artillery M1 Pro, so
nice.
when it releases and ships to my place in July, I can do 3D printing again.
That's awesome.
That is awesome.
That is awesome. I have seen a few artillery printers, and yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, in my head, I'm trying to get, you know how I have that new job?
Yes.
I'm trying to see how I can get robots to help me with it. I
Yes.
want to bring the laser printer in.
Yes.
Not laser printer, laser cutter.
Laser cutter, I understand.
But the thing is it has to be perfectly on grain. So I was wondering if I had a laser level, you know, like you know, like those laser levels to make sure everything's straight, so I can line up the grain and make sure everything's straight before starting that, because that is where my head's going. Like,
yeah, how can I make sure that makes sense?
Because grain lines are a big deal, but it is a synthetic that will cut perfectly with
the laser,
and it'll cauterize the edges, so I'm not worrying about runs.
Right.
And I can print out multiples. And plus, I feel like once I digitize the pattern... Anyways, in my head, I'm trying to upgrade what I do tangibly to digitally.
Right.
Go from analog to digital. Anyways, my brain's over there. We can get back on topic.
If you want to be... Whatever. Yeah. If you want to be... if this laser is being set up to use for primarily one purpose, we can put hinges in the back so it opens up sort of like a... yeah, anyway, so it opens up. And then you can literally burn a grid, like a cutting mat, into your burn surface.
The one you gave me has that burnt in.
Okay.
You gave me...
I gave you that one.
Yeah, and it's locked down and screwed onto the grid.
Yeah, okay.
So I can line up to it.
So you can line up to that,
but that one's mine.
Understandable.
Yeah, and they wouldn't... It's not like I could donate mine. They'd have to order it through their suppliers, blah, 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 blah.
I understand
blah,
how
blah,
that works. My work is the same. They can't buy used. They have to order it through suppliers and proper chains and... Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's great, but that's like down the road. We're not there yet. I'm still learning.
Yeah. First thing you need to do is take some of the scrap of the fabric home and just burn it and make sure it cuts the way you want it to. Yeah.
Eventually. That's okay. I'm thinking about the future. We're getting there. It's good problems. Also, that's why I have high anxiety.
Okay. Does this mean I can get a pair of 3X Spanx that I can wear and I'll look thinner?
It's not out of the realm of possibility, but honestly, those are better to order online because those are made on a loom. They aren't necessarily, so they're spun in one piece, so they're knit.
Okay.
On looms that do that. So Spanx specifically are different.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Pressure garments, they are at measurement with a 0.81%. Anyways, the math.
Right. It's just a little bit of compression.
Yeah.
Now, does that help with, because it's burn scars, burn.
Yeah.
Right?
So if you keep pressure on burn scars, this can help you if you burn things on your hands. Yeah. You keep the pressure on there, with ace bandages, etc. It doesn't scar as badly. Nearly as badly. It makes a huge difference as you heal. So keeping the pressure on your skin as you're healing from burns makes a big difference. So that's why these pressure garments are so important, and also the fact that you can't have seams that are uncomfortable and blah blah.
Yeah, because that will cause a scar. I can see that.
Not a scar.
Oh, it's just uncomfortable.
It's uncomfortable. Yeah.
Okay.
So you have to make sure, the way we have our seams, we have a marrow machine, so it sews the seams together like this. Right. And then you flip them so they're over like this.
Okay.
And it has a I don't have pants that have it, but my athletic.
My underwear does.
Nope, mine doesn't.
Well, the top. I noticed it actually the other day. The top of the elastic of my knit underwear looks like it has that type of seam. Okay.
It's a marrow machine. It's often in athletic wear, knitwear, things. It's a very specific machine that I'm learning.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I'm just it's the learning curve, because it's if you have too much and then too little and you have to feed it through. And I'm working on gloves right now, and I'm doing the finger inserts.
Oh man, that's... why don't we do something complicated to begin with, but I guess that's a...
No, we worked up to that, and right now I'm currently in... I've only been there for 4 weeks.
Wow, okay.
4 weeks.
Yeah.
And so... right now I'm really getting into the gloves, and the thing is you have to do it. You don't have the experience until you've done it.
Yeah.
And I've made 2 pairs of gloves, and the thing is they'd be great for cosplay. They'd be great for things, but you have to have it perfect for what its real purpose is anyways. And so,
yes, for its medical purpose,
purpose, yeah.
No, that makes sense.
Anyways, I'm learning.
That actually mentally just came up last week at SacAnime, because we were, we set up Cosplay Repair at the 3-day event in Roseville.
Oh, that looked like fun.
It was fun. It was a lot of fun.
Chris, you sent me a picture of?
Yes, that was Chris I sent you a picture of.
That's what I thought, but I didn't want to. Okay, sorry.
So at the con, Chris, who used to do props for Smosh and felt totally overwhelmed by it and out of his league, and then let me take over for him, I found out that's the way it went. I thought I took his job away from him. He was like, "Oh no, thank you for showing up." So he happened to show up and walk up to the booth to say hi. And I said, "Hey, can I take a picture for Felicia?" He goes, "Oh yeah."
Yes, I was in the middle of something, so I didn't respond. But I was like, "Is that Chris? That looks like Chris."
Yeah, that's Chris.
Anyways, you're telling me SacAnime that came up, and I got
that
off.
came up. That's fine. So I was working with one of our other cosplay repair people who actually doesn't have as much foam experience. She has tons of sewing experience, wig experience, makeup experience, everything else. Just hasn't really played with foam much. So for the fun of it, I brought that's why it's here actually. I brought the contact cement and brought some other bits and pieces of foam, and went, all right, well, let's make a horn, because that's easy, right? Just like a rhino horn or kaiju horn or whatever. It made me think about gloves, because basically in front of Area 51 as well, I've rolled out this piece of project foam and drew out this thing that sort of looks like a horn cashew, and then cut that out, traced it out again, and then eyeballed it and drew the gusset that will be on the inside of the finger. So like an index finger, I had the front and the back and the gusset that went on the back side. Yeah, and I literally thought, that's all this shape is, but I'm making a horn instead. And so I handed it to him. And it was funny because both her and Area 51 were like, "You freehanded that." It's like, yeah, it's an organic horn. It doesn't matter. Yep. But and so we
call those inserts.
Oh, is that what it is?
We call them inserts, and they're the smallest we do is a 1/2 inch insert.
Okay.
and we taper it at the ends to fit the tips of the
fingers. Yeah.
Most of the fingers don't get closed because there's really no need for there to be pressure on the tip of the finger.
Okay.
They either go up to the nail bed or just past the nail bed. Anything below the nail bed, you don't need a taper. Just things I'm learning. But,
okay.
But yes, that's exactly what it is. They're little inserts.
Yeah.
But I call them gussets, but medically, we don't call things the same things. I'm learning that.
Okay. So gusset is right for a glove?
Gusset's right for an insert in general.
Oh, okay.
And an insert is just a more technical term than different tech jargon.
Okay. Well, I'm glad I'm not using incorrect jargon,
I feel
even
like
if it's generally correct.
If you get the message across and you know what I'm talking about,
right?
We've communicated it and it's appropriate. If you're correcting me on semantics, then we're getting off on the wrong. We're not talking about the right
Fair
thing,
enough.
if that makes sense. So inserts, gussets, but also the way they measure things is different.
Yeah.
Because when you measure, we count. It looks like we're doing to the power of 2, the power of 3, but no, it's the measurement, the full measurement plus an eighth of an inch, 1/8 inch, 2/8 inch, and plus is plus a 1/16 of an inch. So 4 plus would be 4.5 inch. It would be whatever inches plus 4/8, which would be a half an inch.
Okay.
Or half an inch. Sorry.
Yeah, half inch.
Plus a 1/16.
Plus a 16th. So okay.
Yeah. So my math.
9/16. Okay.
So my math is just like I'm relearning math because we're learning it in the eighths. In the power thing, and that's not how powers work, but that's how we
how you medically measure it and notate it. Okay. Once again, metric would be a lot easier if we just frickin' used it, but we don't.
Honestly, we use centimeters when we go to do this part of the hand.
Oh, that's
because
awesome.
It's easier to anyways.
That's awesome.
That's the only spot we use centimeters.
I love it when it's a mixture of measurements because it's still right. This is this many ounces and this many milliliters. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it's just the way it's easy to divvy it up.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm relearning everything.
That's cool. I'm really sorry to hear you got sick, Dan. Dan Does Joke says, I wish I could have gone to SacAnime Spring, but I got sick. And then he also had a planned trip, which he went to while sick, because it was planned, damn it.
Yeah. Appreciate not going when you're sick, because that's introducing illness into a huge group of people. Right. So when you are sick, stay home. We learned that.
We did learn that. It was dead.
SacAnime. It was Easter weekend.
Yeah, it was Easter weekend. And okay, to say it was dead is really not fair because it wasn't, but it wasn't SacAnime Spring or Summer at all. Friday, which was, Good Friday and still a work day for many people. Yeah, it was very, very, it was dead, Saturday was great. Saturday was what a con should be. Sunday, hey, it's Easter. Aside from a lot of Easter bunnies running around, it was pretty dead. It still picked up. It was better than Friday. What was really cool about doing it was there's 8 of us there, I think, at the height. We were able to take care of everyone who needed help, but we were also able to talk to each other, screw around. Aria 51 got to work on Stompy, and I got to work on his Stompy costume with him. That's the Hydra Stomper from the What If episode.
Right? It's a whole lot less stressful. And you have more time to work on fun projects with fun people. And more time to hang out and talk with fun people.
Exactly.
Because sometimes when there's so many people, it's overwhelming and everyone wants your attention and you're like, ah!
No, it was great. Oh, it was great. Inside information that will likely happen. The place that they're going won't always commit to reservations early enough for the con because they have to have reservations for the guest stars so many months in advance, right? They have to commit to, we're going to go ahead and do this with you guys, everything else like months in advance. Apparently the convention center there in Roseville will only do it 60 days in advance. And so they can't guarantee during the other 3 or 4 months they've already got established contracts with these artists, these actors, and that there's going to be a facility available, right? So chances are really good it's going to move next year. It's not going to be in Roseville anymore. There will still be a SacAnime Spring, but they're going to go to a different venue, which is not 100%ed yet.
I feel kind of bad because I'm a little jaded against Roseville since I got stuck in a speed trap. My very first car ticket was from Roseville.
Right.
And I was in a speed trap.
Yeah.
And it made me so angry. I'm like, I'm never driving in Roseville again. And it's
all
been
good.
almost 20 years.
I believe it. A little while, for those of you who didn't hear it.
And I've kind of avoided Roseville since. And it wasn't, that's not why I didn't go to the con.
All good.
But I just think it's, oh, yay, screw Roseville.
Having lived in Roseville, oh, yay, screw Roseville. I got to live in Roseville at a time when they had their own television system. Not television, their own telephone system. Right? So everything was AT&T or Pacific Bell up to like halfway through. There's a town called Citrus Heights. It actually borders Roseville. So just a little bit in Citrus Heights, it turned over to being Roseville Telephone, and Roseville Telephone continued on up 80 into like Auburn for a little ways. Right? It was rural. So basically, Sunrise Mall, which I know none of you really know where this is, but she does, and you can look it up. Sunrise Mall is in Citrus Heights on Sunrise Boulevard and Greenback Lane. If you want to go look up the dead mall on Google Earth, go for it.
There was a con there a while ago.
Yeah, there was. Weekend Blender. So at Sunrise Mall, if you were on the north end of the mall, the Macy's end of the mall, the payphones were Roseville Telephone. So it was a local call anywhere out to Auburn. But if you wanted to call just on the other side of the river, that was a long distance call. If you were on the south side of the mall, that was Pac Bell. And anything up to, the end of Citrus Heights was local. Anything south was still local. But if you want to go past Citrus Heights into Roseville, it was a long distance call.
So what if you called the other side of the mall? Was that considered long distance?
I don't know. It could have been. I never tried that. But it was just amusing to me that if I walked to the far side of the mall, this is how old I am, it was a 10-cent call to call somebody in Roseville. But if you walked to the Sears side of the mall, it was a 10-cent call to call somebody in downtown Sacramento. It's like, really?
Back in the day when your phone was attached to a cord.
Yes.
In the 1900s.
Way back in the day when you had to learn Morse code. It was really. I used to work in the mall too when I figured that out. So it was really weird when somebody would ask me, "Do you have a payphone?" It's like, "Yes, we do. There are these two locations, and then if you're calling, it's going to cost you more depending on where you're calling from." And a lot of people went, "Oh, thanks," and a lot of them just looked at me like, "I didn't need to know that shit." Yeah. Anyway, payphones. They don't exist anymore. I remember using 1-800-COLLECT. Yes. Oh,
1-800-CALLATT.
Yes. Often you need to be picked up from somewhere. You would just use that, and Mom would. Will you accept a phone call from? And Mom would just say no and hang up and go pick you up because she knew who you were. Yep.
Right.
To be fair, it was a glorified vendor hall with some guests. Yeah. That's pretty much what it was. And it wasn't full. It was to go over to where the guests were. The hall was, there was a lot more empty than I expected there to be. And then they had some stuff outside too. And they had a whole other building which had, this is SacAnime again. They had a whole other building which had the panels in it. And they had the costume contest in that other building, which I've actually never been in that other building. So probably won't now.
Because you don't usually get away from your booth very easily or very long.
But yeah, that's kind of what it was. That's kind of what SacAnime usually is, but the one in the convention center seems to have more going on. They still had LARPing combat fighting outside in the grass, and they still had lots of food trucks, and they had they had an Easter egg hunt on the morning of Easter, and they tried to set up other events, but they still have a big cosplay gathering area out front in the lobby, because there's like a lobby area, and then you come into the vendor hall, and so that big area was left open as a climate-controlled, bathroom-accessible area for cosplayers to gather in, and that's actually where I thought we were going to get set up. I was glad we were in the vendor hall.
Would make sense, but
it would. Oh, the vendor hall was great though. 7 o'clock, doors locked, security. I'm going home. Hey!
Nice.
Yeah, because at SacAnime, we're actually not in a secure area like that at the convention center. So when the con closes, we then have to pack up all the Ryobi tools, and I go ahead and pack up all the props as well, and run them off to a room that does lock, because the con runs until midnight with like dance parties and swap meets and all other things.
You're saying this as if it's a bad thing, but
no, it's not a bad thing at all. No, but it just happens to be where I'm located with all of my gear. Either I'm there till midnight, or I gotta go put it somewhere somewhere so it can be secure.
No, I get it.
Yeah, that's
I remember. I'm just laughing.
Yeah, no, it's not a bad thing at all. No, it's great for the con. I'm glad. This is the stuff Roseville didn't have. Yeah. So, yeah. It wasn't full, probably why they decided to invite you, laughing. Yes! I realized that. Yeah. What was fun was when I got invited, I think I mentioned this last time, it was after the Video Game Expo Con that I went and did. And I'm talking to Steve Mead, who's R2SD. He does the droids. And he was saying, yeah, you going to Roseville? Because they told me they're going to put my booth right up next to yours. What? I had no idea that they were expecting me to go. I was like, wait, what?
You painted these.
Yes, I painted
You've been having fun.
I've been trying to get some stuff done.
You painted the inside the cracked spot.
I painted inside the crack spot?
Yeah.
What do you mean? Oh, the gold that's in there?
Yeah, see? This one only has the tip painted. You got this part. I thought that was...
There were actually separate pieces that I put together. Just two... they were printed separately, and so I painted them separately. Here, let me go ahead and click this over to...
Camera 3?
Well, camera 3 would be good too, but I was thinking public.
Oh, yes. Is it noon already?
It's noon already. There it goes. Public done. And we're going to add this to playlists of live streams and Ghostbusters. Done. And because I got two windows open, it seems like it's lagging. Done. Save. Public. 11 viewers. Okay.
Welcome.
Hi. We've now gone live.
You're
like
live,
to everybody live. Where did my let me scoot this over here.
And now you can see.
Yeah, and we're jumping up views already. Yep, so that's what Marvel guys reminding us. Go live. Yes, please go to 3. So these were the pneumatic. I don't know why I brought it up to the camera. We never see up there. These are the 3D printed pneumatic fittings that are on the side of the Proton Pack.
And this one, I was noticing.
And that one is glued on the inside. Well,
no, it's just appreciating the distress.
The piece broke, right? Which was annoying. And then I'm looking at the pictures of the Venkman pack, and because these are brass parts, and then this is a plastic part, the age of that pack, they're cracking. Just like this is two different pieces. Like almost all of them are cracking. So, okay, that's fine.
We're in character.
Yeah, we're in character. So I literally spray painted the gold parts separately from the gray parts and then super glued them together because that was the way the 3D print file was. So, yeah. It's like, okay, that's great. Very happy about how that works. We've been, for everybody who just joined in, a few of you, we've been talking about cons and talking about stuff in general. Haven't gotten anything going yet. Picking up those pieces is the first thing towards actually working on the Proton Packs today.
You have things. These are new. I haven't seen these.
Yes, those are new.
These got painted and put together because they were all gray last time I saw them and in separate pieces.
Okay.
And these, you painted them, but...
I painted these as well, yes.
And then there's also these guys over here, too. Well, these got cut last time.
Right. Yes, Dan was nice enough to cut those. Don't cut your finger.
This goes here.
Yeah, that goes down there, in a box.
In a box where it's safer.
Or on the floor where it's safer.
That's not that. That's your focus.
Oh, the focus card fell. Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, that was me knocking this thing over.
Yeah, we'll just put that, yeah.
Hey, look at it. Matches.
Focus card. Yeah, it does. Wherever it doesn't really fit yet. Whatever. I used to have something else set up where I would put it, and that's something else I'm not using anymore. So I kind of need to find a new home for it. So yeah, these are
all the bits and pieces.
Bits and pieces from the Q pack.
There's these things.
Yep.
Are these screws that we're actually using practically?
They're
magnetic.
Well, the bit isn't magnetic. Not entirely. Some of those screws are just being super glued into holes. But there are a couple that we're going to use practically, but I don't think they're in this particular
pile. This goes in that pile.
Okay, go ahead, keep going.
Keeping them all separated. These ones remind me of Lego heads.
Oh, I don't have the... Where did my mouse go? There it is. It must be on the other screen.
There's only one of these.
1 hour later, greebles.
Greebles. And are these for our pack?
Those are for our pack too, which I know they can't quite see those yet.
Is this for our pack?
That is not for our pack. That is a piece of camera gear.
And this?
That is for the pack. That is one of the clapper valve knobs. Or clipper valve. Clipper.
Clapper.
Yep.
And are any of these? Yes. These.
Yes, those are more printed parts that are supposed to be black.
This is a cutter, so this
and that's
is not.
a tube cutter. Right, that's a tool.
But these are.
But those are.
Put these over in this pile.
Okay. No, you're fine.
So which greebles should we try and attempt to attach?
Attach first. This was the foam crank knob.
Yeah.
And that we replaced with the accurate one from the Q-Pack.
This thing is cool. I should put it down.
It's just a little tube cutter for the brass tubes.
I know, but it's still cool.
So Marble Guy asked a question in the chat about setting up a printer server farm in an apartment with minimal space. You're going to want to avoid drafts. You're going to want to avoid
climate control, changes in temperature, changes in
temperature, yeah,
moisture, changes in anything. So the more contained you can have it, the more like inside of a insulated.
Basically,
box.
Make a reptile cage would be the best. You want to make a box that just a basic wooden box. If you're going to want one window so you can see in it. It doesn't matter if you have all the others. You can also buy fabric ones on Amazon that will still retain the heat and keep some of the moisture out. Because if everything is climate controlled inside, the artillery printer is going to be much happier. We found that out running the Mingda printer that literally put a small heater inside of what looked like a large reptile cage with this large printer in it. And inside the cage, it was like 105 degrees. And, the printer was great. And it ran flawlessly. And it printed out like 2 6-foot-tall Emmys. It couldn't print a frickin' thing without the case.
You also were in an ice box.
Yeah, the old
that
studio.
Was a damp.
Did I tell you I went in that the other day and it smelled like a crypt. You walk in, it's got that damp, cold crypt smell, and I walk in, it's like, wow, I was so used to it, I wasn't smelling it anymore. Is this what everybody came into my shop smelled? Anyway.
I don't remember the smell of any of those places, but also it's one of those things that's subconscious and you get nose blind very easily.
Very quickly, you start ignoring it, yeah.
Yeah, so I did not notice weird smells.
That's all good.
Other than the burning.
Other than the burning from all the foam. Yep.
Or sawdust. A lot of sawdust.
Lots of sawdust.
Lots of sawdust, because I was usually working on sawdust things.
Right. There it is. I want this. So you have this down here, because I don't have a keyboard or a... No, don't do that to me.
What's going on?
So if we go to... Where did the mouse go?
Over here.
Okay, thank you. We go to camera 4.
Greebles!
Greebles! So these that you were talking about were... Reach up.
Beep.
These are the actual usable, these are real pneumatic greebles tubes. These work just like the PTFT tube for your 3D printer, but these are a 1/4 inch instead of whatever 3 millimeter the 2 millimeter the PTF tubes are. So these just happen to come with one of the tube sets that I bought, which I thought they were cool because the Can Crusher was using them. So that's all these are. These aren't actually part of packs.
We were just looking at these greebles.
They're in there somewhere. These were the other ones we were just talking about, which these are the 80s version of the same thing I just put away. Only these are... These have brass, what would have been brass bits, right? That one, the very nub, isn't painted. So it would have been a brass bit. These are just antique gold because it's the color I had. And then there was the screw fitting here. So this would have been threaded instead of a thumbtack. And this was the pneumatic fitting that they use in the Proton Packs, or a replica of it, because this particular fitting is... Actually, I think it is still available, but they're just not as common and cheap as the other ones. So that's what these are for.
These ones got painted.
These were also 3 parts and shouldn't just be a thumbtack. This is just so it sticks into foam. It's another type of pneumatic all brass fitting. I wouldn't be surprised if this end is freely moving on the original, but same thing. Instead of it being a heavy brass piece that costs a few dollars a piece, They were 3D printed and spray painted.
These ones remind me of Lego heads.
These are inserts for some of the other parts I was just showing. Did it hit the floor?
No.
Okay.
Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, it might. I don't know. May or may not have. No, it didn't. I see where the other one is.
Okay.
So, this little piece was an extra of the knobs for this guy that I printed up.
That is. Okay.
Yeah. So I just happened to print up an extra one of those. So, and then these are inserts for another type of pneumatic fitting. This one is solid, where it's got the end printed in place, but the Q-Pack has versions where those ends are separate. I think because you can put different size pipes into them, I guess. I'm really not 100% sure. I haven't done the research on that. But so these fittings are just supposed to fit inside, which I wouldn't be surprised now that they're painted. Yeah, they don't fit anymore. They'll have to be sanded a little bit. Paint adds thickness, of course. So it's just another type of brass fitting that was on the packs. This silver guy, which is spray painted, right? It was just gray when it was printed. Yeah, there's a whole plate behind us. Because there's a ton of these that go on the wands, which we're not working with right now. This is I believe this is one of the clipper valve knobs. This is so the knob goes on top of the clipper valve, so you can adjust it to open the valve up more, or twist it to close the valve down. It's a pneumatic pressure gauge, right? Basically. And these guys are I don't know. Greebles. I think they were transistor. I don't know.
It says Q-Pack on them.
Yeah, because that's the maker of these 3D parts, right? It's Quentin's pack, Q-Pack, I believe is what that's for. I believe Quentin was the name of the artist. So these are replicating, the 80s parts or older that the packs were made from. We have foam ones in the pack now. I wouldn't mind trading them out for these, because these are more detailed and
too legit to quit.
Yeah. So those go on the side of what was called the grain silo. I don't know. These look like Warhammer miniature bases. In fact, where's that at?
Do you have some Warhammer?
I actually have one. There it is. I literally have. I found this in a little box of screws. Oh, it's the wrong side. I've got a square base. So this would have been a slotted base, but this one's a solid base. This is from Games Workshop. It actually says, you probably can't see it, Games Workshop 1992 on the inside of it. So this is it's not necessarily a Warhammer, but this is your, 18 millimeter square base for putting miniatures on. This probably came out of like the big plastic skeleton box set from 92. Anyway, I don't know where this goes on the pack.
So we have to figure that one out.
Yeah, or I may be too late. This might go behind one of the big resistors that's already glued on. That's part of the grain silo. Coming back to that, this is practical screws. So I made sure to get some larger sized quarter 20, because meaning it's a 1/4 inch screw, 1/4 inch diameter with 20 threads per inch. This is a very, very common screw thread, and a lot of camera gear has that. And then it's a socket head on it. The plan with all these, let me just shine the light right in the camera. The plan for all of these was to practically attach the ribbon cable to the cyclotron housing using these. So this is the only one that's actually practical, which, yeah, this is part of the cyclotron ribbon cable.
So those have to go into there.
Yep.
They're not fully lined up.
Yeah. We may have to make those a little bigger. But anyway, yeah, like that. And so this should be enough to go through the foam, and I'm hoping we'll go through the foam and the piece of wood on the inside. And then, yeah, I got a flange nut. So you see it's a nut, but it's got this extra wide base, so it's called a flange nut, in order to distribute the weight on the wood a little bit better. And then it's got a wee bit of a textured teeth on the inside.
Is it on foam?
There should be a little bit of wood glued on the inside of the cyclotron just for these nuts. That was the intent, and I'm pretty sure I put that in there. It would be on this side over here. So it should be, yeah, it's right in here.
There is a piece of wood there.
I tried.
Okay.
I tried to plan ahead. Sometimes I
haven't been
don't.
here for a few times.
No,
I didn't know
that's
that
true.
got put in there.
Okay. Yeah.
So okay.
So that's what that was for. I'm actually thinking the ribbon cable is probably a really smart place to go.
Probably, yeah.
This piece you're tapping is just part of the shelf that holds the speech bubble panel in place.
I see that.
So the speech bubble's got a tab that goes here. All of this provides a shelf for it to sit on. Looks like I gotta cut some of this creature cast out, but I need to put an insert nut. Oh no, I don't need to put an insert nut. I actually bought those. I just need to make the parts for it. Ace Hardware had square nuts. Come here. I'm trying to fight and get it off. I'm trying to do two things at once and it's working poorly.
Oh, and talk at the same time.
Wow, I still can't find the cut button on the graphics. All right, so used to using the physical. They had these square nuts. Now these are actually 832 square nuts. Why are they square? Well, my plan is to laser cut a square out of plywood to drop these into to make them captive, and then they will stay inside the pack, and we can just put the 832 screw through it in order to keep these panels on. Yeah.
Close, yeah. Okay.
So unlike quarter 20, which means quarter inch, 20 threads per inch, right? 832 means size 8 screw, because, you know, why stick with a system? But it does mean 32 threads an inch. So it's a fine thread screw. And then lastly, there's just a few of these quarter 20
with the heads painted
Phillip
black.
heads, which I painted black.
Is that the ones we picked out of your little screw bin?
No, I specifically went and bought these.
Yeah, those only had a straight.
And I think I actually went outside and spray painted these while you were sewing last time.
Oh, okay.
And these, there's a few left over, but these are what I put onto the cyclotron bumpers.
Yeah, we need to trim this piece too. That goes in here.
Come on.
Do you want me to push cut?
Yeah, to go to 3.
3, cut. There we go.
Because the mouse is just not working on my thing. So there's a few of them here just in the cyclotron bumper, right? If you want to do 2 for a wider shot, it's over here. And then there's a couple up here. And there was like 4 on each side. So my confusion is over here on this side, it looks like there's a pair that go in underneath this guy, like down here, but I'm not 100% sure. And I actually don't have those pictures up in front of me right now. Yeah.
Reference images make a huge difference.
Oh, it helps a lot.
Right? Especially when you're trying to recreate something.
Yeah. You were trying to ask something else.
I don't remember.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah, this thing. We need to cut that down too.
Yes, and having access to my bandsaws is going to be able to cut those PVC pipes easier.
Yeah. And then this needs to be removed so we can thread the ribbon cable through it.
Yeah, but I tapped those last time, so these are also practical. These 2 socket heads, I mean, it's just tapped into the ABS pipe, but that is a working threaded piece that as long as I don't King Kong tight it will be fine.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah. Stuff.
Let's see what people are saying. Jam and Fett Cosplay says greebles.
Greebles! Yes.
Snow
Oh,
Fox.
Jam and Fett's going to love greebles. Sorry.
No, you're fine. Snow Fox Cosplay says, who you gonna call?
Right? Louis Causey.
Ralph Mort. Boy, good day, Odin Makes and Felicia and all in chat.
Hello, Ralph.
And Richard Stroh says, hey guys, what's the haps?
What's the haps?
And S.R. Sobatka, I can butcher anyone's name,
right.
username, says, good to see you, still making things. Odin waves from Tampa, Florida, Veterans Hospital. Welcome.
For the Veterans Hospital? Nice.
Yep. Ad Vixen, how much
SRS
would the weight
about that,
change if you 3D printed new greebles for a personal prop in the shop? Well...
there it is, Ad Vixens. New greebles for personal prop in the shop.
I think it depends on what your original greebles. Were they foam? Were they actual metal? Because the metal ones weigh more. The plastic ones weigh less. And then foam, it just depends on how much bulk or density is in your foam. Yeah. Which is pretty comparable to the plastic.
Yeah.
So I feel like if you're 3D printing in foam, the weight's not a big enough of a change to notice.
Right.
But metal would be heavier. And it would hang differently. And you'd have to probably secure it better.
Yep.
In my opinion, but...
She's not wrong. On a smaller handheld prop, if you happen to drop it, which does happen, then these resin pieces, because of the resin I use, have a chance of chipping, cracking, and breaking. And even depending on how you 3D print it with filament and how thick your walls are, same thing. If it's hitting the concrete of a con floor, it's likely going to crack and break your greeble. But it may not, because it's a foam prop. If it lands on the foam side first, that could take enough of the impact that it's just going to bounce and roll, and at worst, you'll scratch paint.
Things to think about.
Yeah. At Cosplay Repair, we fixed so many swords. We've fixed so many blasters because they were dropped, or, somebody wants to do a dynamic with their sword, and the blade just kept going.
Yeah, but we also have the bias of we see the things that break. We don't see the things that survive. So we see the things that don't have enough layers of filament. We see things that have been used too heavily. We see the things that hit the ground at the wrong angle and shattered. So,
yes, we do have failure bias. You're absolutely right.
I have to remind myself of that, because I always think, 3D printed stuff is just going to because I've seen it.
Yeah, plenty of times I've seen it happen. But it doesn't always.
Because I'm in the repair section.
Right.
So only the things that need to be repaired come to me.
You're right.
And so when I'm out in the wild, I see the things, I'm like, that's not going to just, it's been reinforced. It's printed with this type of plastic instead of that type of plastic.
It has a good infill. It has a thicker sidewall. It's been backed on the inside with expanding foam. It's been, you're right. Yeah.
I have to keep that in the back of my head.
That too.
Because when we're repairing 3D printed things, we're like going like, I could just do this out of foam, or I could, why didn't you do this? Here, reinforce it with a popsicle stick. You know how many popsicle sticks we went through?
Oh, man, was it Jerry first, and then someone else found just basic plastic headbands? Because how many times somebody comes up with their, alien antenna headbands or bunny ear, cat ear headbands, and the center's broken. And it's like, it's thinner than a pencil, and I can't glue this plastic. So at this point, we just take the ears off and put them on a new headband, because that's the easier fix. And I also feel bad, because I know I've done this on occasion, because I know the right way to do it. Somebody came up with their, specifically, right, this was, I think, this last summer, somebody came up with their lightweight bag that they had made to look like the character they were using. So it had this giant pocket on it with a snap on it, right? Because that's the way it looks. The fabric was just the fabric. It had no interfacing on it, no backing on it, nothing. And they hadn't set the snaps right. Well, I knew how to set the snaps and everything else, so I went ahead and did it. And then I thought about it later. Depending on how they're trying to open that bag, the snap is going to be stronger than the fabric, and they might have just pulled the fabric off the snap. It's like, oh, man. So I know you're not watching, but to the world, I'm sorry that I put the snap together the right way, and chances are good that the snap was stronger than the fabric of the bag.
Here's your PSA. You want the thread to break first before the fabric.
Yeah.
So, if you use really good strong thread on really crappy fabric, you're going to have a bad time.
The fabric's going to tear.
Because it's way easier to fix a pop seam.
Yes.
So, that makes a lot of sense. Interfacings are a way to add properties to your fabric. So, I have this great fabric. I love it for the sheen and the shine, but it doesn't have the right drape. You could put the fabric that has the right drape behind it.
Right.
And you can layer up multiple layers. You can have an interfacing, an interlining, and a lining. 3 separate fabrics. What's the difference between an interfacing and
Go ahead.
interlining
yeah.
and a lining? Well, the lining is the thing closest to the inside. The
to
outside fabric's considered the fashion fabric.
Okay.
And everything inside of that is to offer structure, support, and other properties that you want. So if you want it to be stiffer, you can use a stiffer interfacing or an interlining, and it also helps with shear. So you can start adding up, putting different things together to add all the properties together.
Sure.
So you get the ultimate what you want.
Yeah, so you get the body for the bag with the fancy glittery fabric on the outside.
Yeah.
Just by cutting up an old pair of jeans.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you can use a really delicate, high maintenance fabric. I was like, how do you say it? Delicate
high maintenance sounds right.
High maintenance fabric, but you use all these other fabrics behind it. You can change the property ultimately, so it can be what you want. So,
okay.
Yeah,
I like it.
You're not limited. You have a lot of things you can do because each fabric you put behind it, you take on those properties.
Yeah.
So, but you also have to make sure that you pre-wash your fabric. Why do we want to do pre-wash our fabric?
Right, because how many times I had something shrink on me after I sewed it together, making the top layer all wrinkly.
Synthetics aren't going to shrink. Synthetics are plastics, rayons,
right.
Rayons made out of trees, but you know, like it's made out of.
So is rubber.
Yeah. Plastic's not going to shrink. It's not going to lose its color. Cotton will. So if you have a jeans as your interlining, as long as it's been washed and pre-shrunk, you're not going to change. Because sometimes when you have all those layers up and then you go through the wash and then one layer shrinks.
It's going to ruin everything else.
It's going to change the property of all the other fabrics.
Yep, and sometimes things shrink in one direction and not the other.
Oh yeah, cotton shrinks up. Yep. If you guys ever wondered why your shirts always get shorter but never
narrower. Yeah.
They get wider and shorter. They never get narrower. It's because the cotton absorbs the water and it gets really thick when it's full of water. It gets full. So you think about those little finger traps.
Yep.
And when they're all pushed together, it's full of water. And that's what happens is and then they dry out in that shape and then everything shrinks up.
Okay.
So if it looks like it's going to be a little too short and it's cotton, it's going to go through the wash, it's just going to get shorter.
Yep. Got lots of shirts that refuse to stay tucked in now. Yep.
Because they're cotton.
Yep.
I love cotton. It breathes.
Oh,
it's not color fast and it shrinks up and gets wider. But 60-40 poly cotton blend is the best of the both worlds. Just FYI, if you're looking, because ordering fabric or ordering clothing online, you can look at the fiber content and understand how it's going to breathe. Polyester does not on its own.
Yeah, no, it doesn't. Yeah. I feel like I'm wearing a plastic shopping bag when I wear something 100% polyester. Because
you are.
Yeah.
But that stuff lasts forever.
It does. It just doesn't breathe. So now I'm wearing an oven. I'm wearing a sauna suit. I produce plenty of heat. There's been more than once I was in a car full of people in winter and only the corner of the car that I was in, the windows were fogged up. The other three corners you could see out of because I was fogging up the windows. So that idea carries through for me wearing a plastic bag. I'm just gonna, and it's
like sunglasses for me. My tear duct will fog up just the corners of my glasses from my tear duct. I don't know why that happens, but when I wear sunglasses when it's really cold and you can see your breath, like it fogs up in that tear duct for me.
Depending on the glasses that I'm wearing, especially sunglasses, if it makes contacts with my brows, everything will fog up. So I have to wear them slightly away from my face.
That's technically the cool way to do it. You're not supposed to wear them up on your nose. You're supposed to wear them slightly down because that's the way the cool people do that. My friend Chanel told me that back in high school, and I've always thought of that since.
In all accuracy, I got a big head. And so a lot of glasses just fit that way. There's no other way to put them on. If I pull them away from my face, I'm looking over them. Right. And I'm not that old yet. All right. So we have this and this. I'm going to start on the ribbon cable.
That sounds like a good plan.
I mean, we've been talking for an hour. Don't get me wrong. I've had a lot of fun, and I hope you guys enjoyed our rambling and talking about SacAnime Roseville. But nothing's happened, so I was just trying to make something happen.
This one has the things already kind of lined up.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. We have to do both, but I'm just
all right.
saying.
Well, those are already... So these are still taped. We'll do this one second. So parts are contained.
You've cleaned in here, so I don't know where things are.
Oh, right. Those all got put over here.
Oh, that's cute. I used to have one of these.
What do you see?
You drop it on people.
Yeah, it's an anvil.
Cartoons made me think that these would be more prevalent.
Absolutely.
Than they really are.
Than they really are. Yes, they were very common in cartoons. Although, whoever's dad was a truck driver turned blacksmith, he's used to seeing anvils. By the way, I had something show up this week.
What's that?
I got the Alice Pack, the reproduction Alice Pack straps, back straps. And I realized I did have some vintage ones, but they're incomplete. I think. I haven't compared. So here's the vintage one.
Smells like Payless Shoe Store.
Yeah. So yeah, here's the vintage one that still says strap, shoulder, right hand.
I like this mechanism.
Oh, that is cool. So this one's...
They're different.
Okay, so they are...
See, this has a different thing here than this one.
And those are both the ones out of the pack? I didn't grab one of the...
This was a 2-pack right here, so these two do go together.
Yeah, because there's a left and a right. Yeah, that's the way that's supposed to work. Huh, and the other one doesn't work that way. Yeah, it's some sort of a load... maybe it's just one side is designed to help put it on, right? Like you put a backpack on with one strap at a time, so you got one quick release side and one non-quick release side.
What did I change?
Did you...
I think this goes in...
That goes over?
And this goes in.
And that goes through.
All right, there we go. I was like, what did I...
What are we talking about? You want to hook up camera 3?
3 cut. Okay.
So, with the Alice Pack strap, there is this load-bearing... Sorry, my hands are in the way still. There's this load-bearing buckle here on the side, right? And so this takes a ton of weight because all the weight is being held onto 2 metal pieces. Sorry, my hands are in the way. So the way it works is you pull this part out and then this lifts off. So this strap finger is supporting this strap that's buckled, right? So that's where the load is going.
So that ring goes inside of that ring.
So this ring goes inside of this ring, and then this forked piece just slips through the first ring just to lock it in place. And this whole section here is all attached as one strap, right? So the parts are attached. You won't have loose parts falling around. And then this other strap is attached to the waist portion of your pack. So it just, I'm out of frame again.
It's such a tiny piece.
It's not too bad, actually. It's pretty big. I'm just trying to keep my big meat fingers out of the way. So then that just clips. There we are. That's locked in place. And then this strap snaps. So there's a snap as a final lock. And now this actually can support a lot of weight. It's a very secure connection. So the reproduction does the same thing. Has the same, well, this one. They're much lighter, aren't they?
You know, the foam is a different foam. This one's more square and thick.
Yeah.
This one's a lighter weight foam. I was going to say it's probably absorbed more moisture and
maybe
over time, but I think they're different foam.
They're probably just different foam.
Camera 3, I'll show.
It's okay.
Let's see. Which one's old, which one's new? This is the new one. This is the old one.
That's the old one. The fat guy's the old one.
This is the new one, still has a tag. So that's the difference. You can see it, right? I'm not being crazy. They're different.
I can see it, yeah.
I feel like we should make our own stamp.
Probably should. So that's how I would know, which is, you can do 4 if you want. But
4?
It doesn't have to. But 4, you'll be able to read the stamps a little more.
Yeah.
So the old one has got the stamp on the inside. It's upside down, but it literally says strap, shoulder, right hand. It's right. It's correct for me. It's just upside down for the viewer. So I do have some of these straps, and I always thought they were... go ahead. I always thought that they were incomplete because it's just these 2 loose straps with a pad, right? With whatever on the end. And in fact, this one's got... I don't know. It's got something else attached to it. But that's literally all these guys are. So these...
I like this mechanism here.
Yeah, I like that mechanism. Oh, okay, that one's... I don't have that one on these guys.
Well, no, they're a pair.
Yeah, well, there's a left and a right, and they work differently.
They both have this thing, but this thing's attached.
Oh, they do?
Why
okay. Oh, is this just a... Oh, it's a spring-loaded... Oh, okay, so this is like the plastic one on our belts, but this is spring-loaded, so it's easy to adjust the strap.
Super easy to adjust the strap height.
Oh,
but they have different... This one you can disconnect. This one you can't.
Right, so the right-hand one?
I don't know which one goes on which side.
Yeah, I think that's the right-hand one, because if you also look at the straps, they are not straight. There's a bit of a curve to them. Let me get my dark out of the way.
Is that on purpose?
That is on purpose. Where's the left one?
This one? Oh, no, these are the same.
Yeah, we're having tons of right ones.
They go this way.
Yeah, so where's the other one that doesn't have this quick release?
Well, these ones are a pair of the new ones.
Okay.
Are they curved, both curved inward? It looks like it because there is that little bump, but usually I assume that's a sewing flaw.
There's another quick release. Did I grab all rights? I thought I had a...
Odin, you're all right.
Yeah, I might have just grabbed all rights not knowing.
But
so
they
I'm definitely glad I got the reproductions because I'm not seeing... I thought I had a... I thought I had a left.
It's ever so slight that you think that it's a sewing error, but it's on both of them. And so, look at, even on the
strap.
The new
Oh,
ones.
this is left. No, just the original military ones had them on both. Or at least these do. Have the quick release on both. So,
this one only has
you
it
can
on
see
one.
it here. It makes a Y because it's designed to help go around the body, right? So,
you can see it with the wrinkles here.
So it's funny. I bought these and
Y.
I didn't need them. I honestly thought these were incomplete. They're just tattered and old looking, which is actually nice.
Not bad, right? Isn't that what we try and do?
That's what we end up trying to do
Have to add that
intentionally.
distress and that texture.
So I believe what happens is this feeds through one of the metal loops in the top of the Alice Pack frame, and then is belted, right?
And this because we were looking for a ribbon cable.
Yep.
But hey, we're working on it.
Stuff showed up.
Yeah.
So this attaches it to the shoulder, then this attaches down below. Yeah, okay. Hey, I'm learning more. This is more than I've actually tried to figure it out before, because I always assumed the old ones I have were incomplete, so I never put that much thought into it. Having bought new ones, it was an expensive lesson, because those were like $17 a pair. Now I know.
Still cheaper than making them.
Yeah, still cheaper than making them.
Because by the time you buy the foam, the strapping, and fabric...
Those buckles are going to cost more.
Tell me about it. People are like, oh, you can make it at home for cheaper. No, you can make it at home for like 10 times the price.
Yeah.
By the time you start buying fabrics. See, if you have the stuff at home, yes, it can be cheaper, but you already...
Yes, if you already have the stuff, it can be cheaper.
It can be. Can be.
Yes.
Doesn't mean it is.
There.
All right, Ralph Mork, that's a cute little anvil. It is. I love it.
Oh, it's great. That thing goes to Cosplay repair because it's perfect for setting rivets and snaps.
I use a piece of train rail for an anvil.
Yeah. Dad used to do that, I think. He had a piece of train track that he used. Yeah. Absolutely. Because it's, aside from it being shaped differently, it's just a solid piece of iron, which is all an anvil is, and it's perfect for dropping in coyotes' heads.
Yep. We are going to be drilling through the ribbon itself, but that'll help make it more secure. Should we put a piece of tape or something so that it's...
Yeah, we can do that.
Just a little more extra holding?
Yeah. Where's
not
the
that we
carpet
have to, but I think that might be not a bad idea.
That sounds like you're thinking ahead.
Um...
Which I wasn't.
J Period says, hey friends, I actually made it to a live stream. Hope you all have been doing well. Welcome, J Period.
Hello, J Period. It's awesome. I like J Period. He's fun. He's a good guy.
Mm-hmm.
J Period is a good guy. If you guys get a chance to hang out with J Period.
But this isn't the right type of tape.
No, that's carpet tape.
I know.
Yeah.
Why would you use it on this?
You wanted to use the double stick tape just to hold this in place with the aluminum, right?
That makes sense, but that was not what I was picturing.
You were picturing the RV tape?
I was picturing basically gaff tape, just folded over just so that it was like a piece of fabric.
Oh, okay.
You know, like finishing that so it holds them all together. But this stuff gives me nightmares.
It can. So this is fiber reinforced double stick.
No,
tape,
I know exactly what it is. And you know why this gives me nightmares, right?
Because of the floor, the set floor.
Yeah.
Yeah. There was. Oh, it'll be easier if we just tape down the floor for the music video we're gonna do. That way we don't have to repaint the white.
Yeah, I was like, well, why don't we put painter's tape down first before we stick the stuff down?
To protect the paint.
So we can peel it up easier, but then I was told that if you peel it up easier, then that defeats the purpose. And by the time I went to go do this, somebody had already done the job and they didn't put the painter's tape down.
Yep.
And
we repainted the floor after pouring a ton of chemicals on it to get the goo to go away.
And there was still that raised surface, so that did it ever get grinded down?
No,
Anyways,
I didn't anyway.
Not my circus, not my monkeys, but I remember this problem, and now I just get...
So we have this because Cedar, one of the new people for Cosplay Repair, she's not new, or excuse me, they are not new. I'm sorry, Cedar. They are not new to Cosplay Repair, but they are new to our group. That's how they repair shoes. You start getting the floppy sandals that actually has a lot of, you're not going down to a grid necessarily. It works really well for a confix.
Yeah, I could see that being for a confix. I'd still use I'd use this over this.
Yeah.
Honestly, I probably would never buy this on purpose. but I can see where it has its things, but I have trauma, and I,
Fair
just
enough.
decided I don't like it.
That's fine.
It's also like Roseville. There's nothing wrong with Roseville. I just decided I don't like it.
Okay, where's a pen? I can tell you what's wrong with Roseville.
Anyway. Camera 3?
Or 4, yeah.
4? Okay, 4.
So, what's wrong with Roseville is very easy. You have Roseville. So, Roseville. Sorry, my handwriting's a little quick, right? So, what's wrong with Roseville?
Evil.
Well, basically, no matter how you do it, there's evil in the middle of Roseville.
It's evil.
It's easy to know what's wrong with Roseville. It's on the sign.
Bryce News says, I bought an Alice frame with the quick disconnect for a friend's pack. He used caution because her snaps always come unwrapped. I can't count how many times her HasLab pack fell to the ground.
Ooh.
We have the quick release snaps, but
That's what he's
I feel
talking
like
about.
they click on really securely, don't they? Or...
It feels like they do, but I assume he's talking about the reproduction ones, which is what I bought. But I also have the vintage ones that were actually surplus from our favorite guy that hopefully are gonna be okay.
Okay.
Those feel secure. I wouldn't be surprised if some guys just sew the quick release thing so it's visually there, but it's mechanically, finished and attached.
Okay.
The other way. Yeah, like that.
That makes way more sense.
And yes, the ribbon goes through the holes, so we're going to have to either separate the wires or punch the wires.
I was thinking punch the wires, but that's
Okay.
why I wanted to cover them in just a tape before we punched through them, just so there was
Sounds good.
something.
Okay, that sounds good.
But that...
We can do blue tape to start with to do the punching, and then replace it with double sticky for making it permanent in this. Or do you want to just go straight gaff and avoid the hated carpet tape that, go ahead, go to camera 3. Has a 3-armed swastika inside it. It's not. It's a totally different symbol, but it's really hard
evil.
not to see it as that. Feel free to correct me because I know that is not what that symbol is at all, but
it just
that's where my
evil.
brain goes.
Anyways, it's up to you. I don't care either way. I just think that we have little strings that can be separated, and I feel like that's going to be a weak point that we'll pull out and pull apart eventually.
Okay.
But there's a million ways we can do it.
Yeah.
Yep. William Wells says, hey guys, great to see you. Hi, William Wells.
Hey, William Wells.
And Richard Stroh says, Proton Pack is coming out amazingly.
Thank you. It's exciting. It's actually getting to that point where it's starting to look like something.
Yeah. Mighty Guitar Mod says, my wife asked me to stop acting like a flamingo, and I had to put my foot down.
Yep. That's
Mighty
great.
Guitar Mod says, lady at dog park, did you adopt your dog? Me? No, he's my biological dog.
Okay, so it's like that.
Richard Stowe says the little teeth thing looks like it's seen some stuff. I don't know which little teeth thing we're talking about, but that's okay.
He may be slightly behind in the stream.
That's okay. Richard Stroh. Evil.
Oh, well, he's not that far.
Okay, going back. Advic. Oh, wait, hold on. Let me go up. You have the mouse all the way over here.
Yes, take
I'm
the mouse.
stealing it.
Sorry, please do.
That's okay. I'm going back into old, because we have lots of comments, and we've been ignoring because we were.
We started talking.
Mm-hmm.
Doing that whole actually trying to work on something. How dare us thing.
Bryce New says, I bought an Alice frame with the quick disconnect for a friend's pack and use caution because her snaps always come unwrapped. I can't count how many times her HasLab pack fell to the ground. Okay, maybe I am caught up.
I remember you talking about that one, yeah.
Yeah, so, okay, I am caught up.
Okay.
On things. J Period says, we just watched Alien Romulus for Alien Day, and I'm here for the cheesy jokes. LOL.
Nice. I really liked Alien Romulus.
I haven't seen that one yet.
It was pretty good. It still has the alien problem of, we're going to introduce a new synthetic hybrid alien thing at the end that just like, really? But it's much better than the one from the end of Alien 4.
So is this supposed to replace this and this supposed to replace that?
Yes.
I actually think that I like the bigger one better than the littler one.
Okay. You want to just leave the big ones?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, I don't hate, like this one, if we were to change one, except for these things are backwards for what this one is.
I probably glued them on backwards.
No, it's not a big deal, but I think I like... But
so you want to keep the...
This one for sure, and if we switched one, it would be this one.
Okay.
But fine. We don't have to.
That's fine.
But those are my opinions. What do you guys think?
Can they see it well enough?
This piece right here, as it is this big.
Oh,
this is the little piece that we would take it off and replace it with. It's smaller. And I don't feel like it has as much, it's more defined texture, but it doesn't feel like as much texture as this.
Try camera 2.
Camera 2?
Because it's got the aperture's open bigger, so it's easier to see something that's black. So this is the piece you're talking about.
Yeah, and this is the other piece. So this one feels waste.
With my, yeah.
So opinions. Do we replace it with the plastic one or keep the foam one? This one has a little label right here, an extra little flat spot that ours doesn't have. This one just has the texture of the lines.
And then on the other side, if you didn't already do the other side.
Aria51 says, this little black piece far away against a black thing replaced with another black thing. LOL.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I tried to go to camera 2.
That's, yeah. Pretty much. Because I feel like that has a bigger impact because it's just a little black piece versus... This one is where I'm saying I can see taking it or leaving it because this piece is not that big of a deal, but I feel like the rounded has more texture, but it's not such a big difference that I would even notice, but I think I like this piece better than this piece. But out of these two pieces, I think I like this bigger piece than this little piece. But that's my opinion. What's wrong?
I have misplaced my smallest hole drill from Cos Tools, which is what I was planning on using. Which is okay. It's just you know, these guys.
Yeah, the little hole punch.
Yeah, the little hole punch. I've got the medium and the large, but the small I'm not seeing. It's like, oh.
Did it get put in the wrong box? Sorry.
Oh, probably.
Ooh, these are cool.
Yeah. So she found what I was going to pull out. Oh, right around this time anyway. It's almost time for 1 o'clock. We'll talk about these in just a second.
Those are nifty.
Those are nifty. Okay, well.
Bryce New says, knock off straps may be okay with your packs because they are made of foam, so it should be light. Still use caution, though, especially if you put electronics in it. So I think it's the weight that really,
That has elaborate. Well, it looks like, Bryce, it looks like we have enough vintage ones to be able to do it. I just thought they were incomplete because I didn't know. So I bought, these will be complete. Literally, that was part of my thought. I'll have the rest of the straps I need. I got no problem using the vintage ones for these, and then the replacements.
But it's good to know that is an issue that we need to.
Yeah, the replacements
consider.
I can donate to another Ghostbuster or whatever. Yeah.
Have a box of leftover greebles.
Oh yeah, got lots of. Oh, it's on the table. Good.
Oh, and there's all these greebles. Are these greebles things we need?
Those are for the wands.
Okay, cool. Good to know.
Yeah. So because my aluminum, what are these called? The mounting pieces that I made from aluminum were hand done. They don't line up perfect. I'm trying to make sure the pass-through holes for the screws that exist are lining up so I can put in my pilot hole using this hole drill into the foam. And then I can drill out the wood that's behind it with a drill bit. And the fact that it doesn't match up is pretty much identical to where the Bill Murray one doesn't match up, which makes me pretty happy.
I know you just put this on, but I'm going to put this on.
Oh, this way.
And then we can leave it in there.
Okay.
Can you see that pencil?
I think I missed the wood.
Pencil. It's okay.
I put a piece of wood in there. I think I missed it. I'll have to go find some washers. Or watch me glue the wood on the wrong side. That'd be great. That'd totally be something I would do, is glue the wood on the wrong side.
It happens.
Or I just didn't go far enough. Oh, I don't know. I'm scratching up my hole punch because it's the same size.
How? Can't even get in there, too. Oh,
Yeah.
there you go. Nope, there's no wood there.
There's just no wood there?
There's no wood there.
Is there wood down there? Did I just go too low?
You are probably on
The very edge.
the very edge of that wood.
We'll just put some washers on there. It'll be fine.
Okay, yeah, washer should work fine.
Yep, nope, missed. Well, I tried. Good thing I'm using a flange nut. All right.
I don't like these scissors. I know they're nippers, they're not scissors, but still.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, I'd rather those little... On the tape or the...
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just thought that they would get into the little space better.
Yeah, you'd think. The yellow handled ones are down there. Those might behave better.
Yeah. Bryce News says, I'm very impressed with the amount of details and how realistic the packs look. You would never know it was made of foam. May have to build one for the back of my wheelchair and have a second pack.
Nice.
Hey, you may even finish them before we do.
Yeah, you probably will.
Right?
But,
Can you ever have
thank
too
you.
many Proton Packs? Nope.
Probably not.
Shady says, hopeful Odin shows the design during mail time. He already showed it, Shady.
I can do it during mail time again. Different
Okay.
audience. Second time around isn't that big of a deal.
Mighty Guitar Mod says, nah, keep the parts in you ever need replacements, you already have them. So just keep the ones we already have.
Okay.
I appreciate your opinion, thank you.
Don't walk in front of the camera.
Gallowaying Arnie says, Odin, please make a complete set for Deku's costume.
Right.
Yes. Do you have some washers?
Yeah, I found it.
Can you get washers even in there? Because I could barely get my finger in there.
Oh, okay, well, I
Could you use like an anchor? Like wall anchors, drywall anchor?
Yeah. Well, we need to get something in there because we're going to be, but anyway.
Just straight on foam?
Yeah, we'll go straight on foam. I mean, I've got 2 over here. I just don't have 4, so
Okay.
maybe we'll just do
See if
one
it works.
in each one.
Right? Something like that.
I'm still not fully moved in, so
And I haven't gone through your shop, so I know where nothing is.
that's fine. You probably won't be able to find anything right now anyway, either. Oh, there's a third one. All right. Now we're getting somewhere.
You finding things?
Yeah.
I remember there is a top one and a bottom one because the bottom one has bigger holes than the top one. So this one would go on the bottom.
Yeah, whichever
And
way
this
you
one
want
would
to do
go-
it.
Would go on the top.
The only thing I was trying to do, one of the sides on one of them is marred more than the other, at least on one set.
Yep, this one's
So I was just trying to have that not be visible.
Exactly. This one's more marred.
Okay.
So see how the inside has the bigger drill holes?
Mm-hmm.
And it has that big marred spot? So that one goes on the bottom.
Okay.
And then this one is the prettier one. And I believe it goes on top. And I believe it fits this way because if you put it the other way, it doesn't quite line up the same. Now,
are you going to trim the tape, so the black tape?
Well, I trimmed it
on the top?
I trimmed it for this one.
Okay.
And
it only has to be trimmed for the top.
No, I know, but then this one is slightly different, so now you can see the tape.
Oh, okay. Well.
So I have to trim it more.
Okay.
But I had thought of... Wait, no, it goes this way, sorry. So, yes, it does.
Still, but yeah. All good.
It still does, but... I actually think I probably need to move it because it was made for this one.
Okay.
Because that's the one you had on top, and then I was looking at it going, but this one has an ugly line right there.
Yeah.
All right, I'm peeling it off. We'll do it again before it's a big deal.
I'm sorry.
You're fine.
I have to keep walking in front of the camera. Bounce off things I don't usually have set up. Yeah, that's what I want. That's all I need.
Snow Fox Cosplay says,
Yes.
Odin, those jaws with the eyes next to your self-healing cutting mat looks like they've seen some stuff. LOL.
Yeah, I bet. These guys here. This is one of Felicia's favorite toys.
I always try and prank him, but he seems to get me more than I get him. So this one is the bottom, this side up, and this one is the top.
So that must be the comment someone else said about teeth that I just didn't pick up on.
Yes. So this one is about 1/8 of an inch more in than
That's
that
not
one.
scientific notation. That just means 1/8 of an inch the way it's written because of how work is.
Mm-hmm.
Call back to something from a while ago.
Let me just make sure we is straight. Alright, now I have it marked. Danda's junk is going to be working over by the media center.
Oh, nice. Oh, okay. So you're marking the pencil on the cable.
So I don't see where it's at, and then I'm folding over.
Nice.
So as I don't care if there's too much on the back because we won't see it. But then I wanted to. This one's the bottom one. Don't use that one. Hold on. Goes this way. This one goes this way. See how the circles line up better than this way?
Yeah.
Like way better.
I was working on that too when I was trying to put these holes in to make sure.
So if you want to mark them.
Okay, so. You don't care which orientation the bottom is, right?
No, the bottom has to be
has
that
to be
side
this way. Okay.
up, yeah. Because once you start switching that, it changes everything.
Bottom up. And then... So like that?
Yep.
So this is top...
Down.
Down. Okay.
Okay. It's this way. And then I can just mark this and this.
If I need to, I could drill these out a tiny bit bigger if we need the wiggle.
We might, but
Yeah,
we
I'll
drilled
probably
them
just do
bigger already because of that. And they
did.
should line up, but I know that they were being a little bit on the...
Pain in the ass side?
Yes, but also we didn't have the right tools currently up.
Right. Speaking of,
Yeah.
where did I put my drills?
Yao Wang Arnie, told you I can butcher anybody's name, sorry about that, says, thank you for noticing my comment, haha, just getting some inspiration for my son's Deku cosplay.
Oh, okay. Nice.
Right.
Yeah, no, Deku's great. That would be, because I've only done the mask and the gloves so far, and I know he's got, like, big armbands, and before his gloves, he had big, you know, heavier wristbands, I think. He's got oversized boots, and then, of course, is his belt. And things change, you know, through the seasons. But,
Yeah.
yeah. It's been a while.
They have new toy merch that they have to release, right?
Exactly. That's exactly what it is. Yes. I'm really surprised. I don't know what I...
There you go. Now you have a sandwich.
I have a sandwich?
Now you have a sandwich.
Nice.
But I think I can trim the edges a little bit more, but
Okay.
the black is covered.
Okay.
Because it doesn't need to be on the...
Right. Now, I don't want to use my cause tools to cut the wire. Not really, because...
Yeah, no, don't.
Well, I guess I can sharpen it. I've already dinged it up a little bit. Yeah, maybe give it a shot. I don't know.
Why don't you just stab it with something pokey like an awl?
I can do that. It'll just separate.
Yeah, that's why the tape's there.
Okay.
That was the whole point of the tape.
We'll stab it with something pokey like an awl.
You don't have to. Just a suggestion. Are you throwing away your circles?
What
Guide?
What do you
Your
say?
Lego template circle? Is
Yeah,
that
it's
one's
wrong.
not wrong?
It's wrong.
Because it's wrong?
Yeah, I changed it, so.
Okay. Snowfox Cosplay says, "Oh, Odin, thanks. Your lightsaber prop build where you showed how to wire up the high-end electronics. It inspired me to do it myself."
Nice. Good to hear.
And Ami says, "Odin, hey man, good to see you."
Ami is on here?
Ami.
Sweet. Hey, Ami, how's it going? Right on. Everybody, this is Ami. Ami, this is everybody. Who is Ami? Ami is the channel that still hosts DIY Prop Shop. That is where my prop origin story started, was with Ami and their channel. So, hey guys, thank you. I'm really glad that you didn't seem to have a problem with me making a paper airplane episode using the Ami, graphics package for a new DIY prop shop episode, and I appreciate that. It was just fun. It was like, hey, this is where I started. So, hey guys, how's it going?
Ace says, "Wow, I'm late, but hello, welcome, Ace." And then Ami also says, "I wish you were here for this man at arms shoot. You would have been a great help." Sorry, I was hiccuping through that.
I've never been to a man at arms shoot. I'd love to go to a man at arms shoot.
Right? Honestly, any shoot, I appreciate having you on, because I bug you all the time going, "Hey, Odin, this is our weird problem. Help me solve it." Gaff tape and...
Yeah, exactly. This is going to be gaff tape and prayers.
Yep, we're gaff tape and prayers here. Gaff tape and prayers.
Nah, yeah, I never got to be on it never worked out for me to be on an Ami shoot, on a man at arms shoot. But yeah, no, that'd be cool. God, I'd love to work with you again, guys, if you get a chance, if it works out. We talked about that a couple years ago, at least me with somebody else. I'm not quite sure which member I'm talking to, but yeah, I know that that's old. Piece of old mail. Speaking of which, but yeah, no, that'd be great.
Okay.
So here's a pokey thingy. It's not perfectly pokey. Do you think you could get that to work?
Don't we have an all? Or do you weren't finding it?
I weren't finding it. I just wasn't finding it. It might be. It might be in, yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
I will look for a better savvy thing, because I don't think that's going to work.
Fair enough.
Maybe if we're going to pick teeth.
I wouldn't want to pick my teeth with that. So it's just past 1 o'clock, and usually at 1 o'clock I like to do viewer mail. It's a lot of fun to play with the whole, hey, I got a P.O. box. If you want to send me something you want to see us open on air, then please send something in. And it's not I'm not trying to beg for stuff. It's just this could be fun, because there's a lot of fun to do on Smosh. Well, we got something in, and I actually got a couple of things in, but one we're saving for next week or next time. But today, Stupid Monkey sent in a package specifically for me to open up on air, and I had, as a way of remembering, I had put it inside of a couple of bags. So I've got two things to talk about. We'll do the Stupid Monkey thing first, and then we'll talk about the bags, because Felicia has interest in these. Yes. And that's why they are out. So, Stupid Monkey sent a package. I have not Greeked out his address on either side. Well, I gotta be really careful about that. I put it in a bag and forgot about it. I didn't cover it up with tape, so I don't want to show where Stupid Monkey lives. Stupid Monkey probably doesn't want me to show where Stupid Monkey lives. So that should be okay. Let's just cut the top off.
stabby things, but not the right kind of stabby things.
Right. There's a really nice one that Sean Carg had made a long time ago, and I was holding on to it. I know I still got it. I just don't know
where it ended up.
Yeah, it might be in one of the other bins with the leatherworking stuff, maybe. But now I'm sending her, which should be the top flip crate that's thinner. Okay. So if you take the bigger flip crate, yeah.
Move this head.
So inside the package from Stupid Monkey, we've got okay. All right, so we'll set this aside. I won't touch the Proton Pack just yet. Well, I might need to, actually. We've got Lego. Stupid Monkey made... Oh, look at that. Oh! Okay. So, a while in the past, Stupid Monkey had made some micro kaiju Lego kits, right? He sent a Godzilla, a Mecha Godzilla, and a King Kong. This was a little while ago. This looks like another one, and this is going to be a team build. Odin, I continue to be an amazing fan, as you continue to be an amazing person. Thank you for all that you do. Seeing as you are disappointed that the last pack had a tiny microscale Odin instead of a Kong, sorry, here is your Kong with axe, also included in a proper color ingot piece for your Godzilla underside, as I have them in stock now. Also, I included a project that feels more in line with your current live stream builds. I hope you enjoy. Thanks again for all that you do, and wishing you, Felicia, Shop Gremlin, and Bean all the best. Greetings from a Canadian Land fan and your favorite monkey, Stupid Monkey. There are lots of ways to build in Lego, but this is how Monkey builds. So he's got his instructions. He's got the updated instructions for Kong. And then he's got this build that is more in line with what we're doing right now. Okay, so here's the Kong separate. And then here's this one that is unnamed. They came with, that had been something on my table already.
I think a drill bit might work best.
Okay.
Because I was going to stab it with scissors.
And scissors aren't stabbing very well.
No, I could, but I don't want to damage them.
Appreciate that. Those are my cheap crane scissors.
No, I know, but they're little.
They're very little.
Love these things. They're the most nifty little version of scissors ever. And I have tons of these. And I would totally use them, but once I started stabbing, I was like, you know what? They would work better. A drill.
Okay.
Just a little zzz.
So we're back to Odin Find Your Drill Bits, which I was periodically looking for just a moment ago.
They're right there.
I love the fact that she was looking, and the crane's coming towards my eye.
It wasn't going to lift it that high. Isn't it this box?
Nope, it's the blue one.
It's the blue one next to it?
Is the blue one next to it?
This one right here?
Fair. Yeah, that's why I can't see it. It's underneath something else. That
I'm really
explains
good
why
at
I
I
can't
Spy.
see it. Okay, so...
Sorry, distraction.
That's all right.
We're doing this, and I'm...
You're focused on actually getting something done. It's okay.
It's okay. So this piece first?
Yeah. That piece, do you want to cut to 4 or 3 or something?
Camera 4 cut.
Yeah. So where are we at? We are
Step
trying
1.
to look at step 1.
We
so
found
here's
the piece.
white on white on white, just like what Ario was talking about before. Wow, that's totally blown out, is it? You can't even see the bumps.
What if you use that as the backdrop?
Here, let me double click camera 2.
Camera 2. All right, camera 2. That's still just as blown out.
Yeah, just as blown up. At least it's on angle. Okay, so that was step 1. Was this 2x6 piece?
Step 2, you need one of those.
So one of those.
And one of those. And
yes,
one of...
However, I Spy, you are...
They're supposed to be gray, though, huh?
They're supposed to be gray.
Gray, that, and that one's too smooth. Where is it?
So this goes here and goes here, and there should be another 1x2 gray plate. So it looks like a 1x2 gray plate. Is this?
Is that it? It's attached.
No, that's a jumper plate.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Oh, I see it. It's there.
Oh, so there you go.
Okay.
Those go like that.
So those go like that, and then the 2x6 goes on top like that. So now we have that on the bottom and this on top. Sorry, it's all blown out.
That's okay. Next pieces are these ones.
Next pieces are these guys. So we have the
2 pieces on the back.
These 2 pieces go in the back.
On the front.
And then 2 pieces in the front. They just go
right there.
And on the other side right here.
Yep.
So now we have studs around all 3 sides.
Step 4, you need 2 of these pieces.
Probably to fill in the holes that you can't see.
Exactly.
I'm really sorry it's all blown out, guys. I'm trying. I even went to the camera that has auto exposure because it's a different camera. Okay, so now we've got...
I'm going to switch to camera 4.
That's fine. Now I got 2x6 all the way across the top. You can kind of see it with the shadow there. And then studs on 3 sides. And this side, that in the instructions, I'm calling the back. It's still smooth.
This one's on the back.
Okay, so this one goes across the 4.
And that goes on top of it.
And that goes on top of it. Okay.
And then we need the little angled piece that we were tripping over last time.
So the 1x2 cheese wedge, that goes
this goes
here.
on the front. Oh, I'm starting to see what it's going to be.
Goes on the front. Okay, so...
Step number 8.
So this is what we've got going on.
Okay, this goes over the windshield.
This goes over the windshield. Ooh, dropping hints, are you?
And
that
then
goes
this
over
goes
the windshield.
behind it.
And this goes behind it
only on one side.
Only on the one side. So we've got the one jumper over there.
And then we need this piece right here. Goes on top of that jumper.
Okay, the little headlight, not necessarily headlight holder, but the...
Yeah, then these...
Yeah, one by one with the rod.
2 of those.
Okay, so this is the...
There and there.
Goes on the front and on the back. So got that, okay.
These are the next 3 pieces right here.
I haven't built Lego on stream in a long time. And then... Oh, okay.
On the yellow side...
So on the yellow side, so this is the yellow side, we're going to put a clear, I'm going to put
a
white tile there.
A red dot.
A red circle 1x1 tile. Come here. There we go.
And then the little red,
and then
whatever
this red
that
one or the
called.
other one?
It could be the other side because it needs to have the big.
Yeah, they're left and right. And then we're skipping a piece. Okay.
Yeah.
So that goes there. That's it's a wing piece or a wedge piece. I'm not remembering right now.
These are the next 2 pieces.
And then these are the next pieces, and this fills in that gap, and this goes in the back like that, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Step 13, the other side.
We're gonna do
this, and this piece.
It's going to be the opposite, right? So it's symmetrical. Make sure I keep it on camera. I'm building it out of camera shot. And then if I jump ahead, it's still going to be
this piece and that
piece, and then the rounded piece, the half round piece back here.
Yep.
Like that.
And then these 2 pieces right here go on the bottom.
Oh, flip it over. These go on the bottom. Okay.
Yes.
So it's going to bridge the. This is a normal Lego thing where they'll put these. These are a domed, like inverted tile, and it's going to branch over the 2 bricks. It's a pretty standard Lego thing to do. Okay, so that's that.
And if you do this and then this.
Oops! Just launched a piece. Sorry you guys couldn't see it, trying to put it together, put too much tension. Pew! And it flew off over there. Yes.
Now.
So what are we working on right now? That part. And I'm not quite sure which piece went flying.
Not the head.
Not the head. Oh, okay. Oh, camera 3's actually got some pretty good definition. Wouldn't you know it? Sorry, guys. You're looking at the blown out one, and now you can actually see it with camera 3. Oh, yeah, get your flashlight. So if I jump ahead.
Oh, jeez. I think it may be in oblivion. I am so sorry. It just, you saw it fling.
Oh, yeah. I heard it. I barely saw it.
Yeah. It looked like it landed right in here in the corner of this box, but if it did.
I wonder what piece went.
It was the little squares.
It was the little squares?
Yeah, the little stripy squares.
Oh, so what would be...
You might be a little shorter.
I might be a little shorter.
Yeah.
Do you have the other parts in your hand?
The head's right there.
Yeah, but do you have the other parts in your hand?
No.
That's the part that went flying?
That's the part that went
That's
flying.
the entire body.
Yeah, the body went flying. You're just going to be a head.
Yeah, that's a to me, that's a fairly unique, it's a too tall plate. It's okay.
I'm sorry.
So this is the... No, we missed a piece somewhere, though, because there's another piece still. Unless that's part of the... It's maybe one of those classic Stupid Monkey undocumented parts. Because there's the gold bar piece that... sorry, guys, you're not seeing anything we're talking about. So, that would be the Felicia piece. With long hair. That's the no body Odin.
Here, you can have my little box that I'm standing on. There you go, Odin. It's a little bit... You're still a little short, but there you go. There you go. You have a little bit taller body. And I'm on my box, so there you go.
That's interesting. I don't know what... Not quite sure where the gold brick is, because it's not in the instructions, but he included it in the package, unless it's a piece for Kong.
Or you know how there's always an extra piece.
Right. Usually it's a...
It's a VHS
oh, is that what it
tape
is? A
to
VHS
watch
tape?
later.
Okay.
Yeah. The saucers make for better vroom vroom, says Stupid Monkey.
Yes, it does. I love the fact that it's Ecto 1, but it's like the hover version of Ecto 1. It's great.
Yeah. Snow Fox Cosplay says it flew off into Never Never Land.
Oh, yeah, it did. Pew! Gone!
It really did. It launched. Had no idea.
Okay, so we're going to have...
Baby Odin, yep.
Yeah.
It's a Futurama
like Baby Yoda.
version of Odin.
Okay. Yeah. Odin's head in a jar.
Legodin.
I've actually considered that as a cosplay, doing the head in a jar thing. So you have like a jar you wear on your head. No, you guys can't see me. But you put a jar over your head, and then you just have like a tablecloth that you're actually wearing. So you're a head on a table. Yeah.
The t-shirt design is Triplets and Wasteland.
Yes, we need to show the t-shirt design. Triplets and Wasteland.
And Stupid Monkey says that's the ingot for your Godzilla.
Ah, that's the ingot for the Godzilla. Okay, thank you. That was in the letter, and I forgot already. I am on camera. I'm pretty good at forgetting stuff when I'm on camera. I'm pretty good at Lego when I'm not trying to keep my hand out of frame.
I was gonna say I'm pretty good at Lego when I'm not Butterfingers.
Right. It's okay. It'll be found. It's probably on the floor.
I think it's in a box.
It's either it could be in the box of
the bottom of the box.
The bottom of the box of the laser cut parts.
Yeah, the little laser cut bits, and if not, it would be in with the tubes.
And in classic, oh, I like that, Stupid Monkey. In classic Lego instruction fashion, the accessory is put in Kong's left hand. I was always right-handed, right? And so I would put the accessories in my minifigs' right hands, but I had noticed that in the instructions, almost always the accessory is in the minifig's left hand. And I just thought that was kind of cool. Because it's definitely something that, had to have been a conscious thought. Yeah, this is way cool.
Lego break.
Lego break. This is way cool. The mini Lego things are super cool.
Yeah.
Thank you, Stupid Monkey. And I love the fact that you included a monkey. I'm sorry I complained last time. I don't remember complaining. I just remember...
I'm sorry for losing all of the Odin bits and pieces.
Yeah. Forget Odin. Yeah. Hello, welcome to Felicia Makes. I don't remember complaining about Kong not being included. What I remember is how cool it was that they showed up and that you'd made it and it was here. That's the memories I've got of it. I would have assumed that I had lost Kong when I found them again, because they should be with my desk stuff that hasn't been fully unpacked. That is super cool.
That is.
Custom Lego kit, that is super cool. Custom Lego kit, yeah. Thank you. you give away too much information about Stupid Monkey there accidentally. So I put them in the bags on purpose. I don't think this was on camera last time. We'll get to the triplets. I don't think this was on camera last time. You came in and you got excited because you like bags about the Ryobi bag that I have, the Ryobi Tool Project bag. This has got a very heavy-duty zipper. It's got a like a reinforced, gusseted, expanding bottom.
So it stands up.
Yeah, so it can stand up, and then it's got a little hook on the end, so you can hang it from something.
Carabiner it to your other bags and such.
Yeah. So, but I've only got the one of them, right? Yeah, that the Ryobi sent me. I think I've only got one. I might have two, but I only know of the one that I've got. I was at Harbor Freight Tools the other day, and they had these little black bags that are noticeably a thinner material, but they are nearly identical in size. They might be a 1/4 of an inch wider. But they stand up the same. It has a lighter grade zipper. It's got a grommet on the side. So the fact that I can go to Harbor Freight Tools and get more of these for $3 a piece.
Nice.
You can have the Ryobi one if you'd like it.
Ooh. I like these pouches.
Yeah.
For doing stuff on sets or
Absolutely.
for on projects and stuff. And when we did the workshop.
Oh, the work. Yes.
The year before, I put together.
You put together bags
that had
in
scissors.
Right. That were in clear Ziploc bags.
And
remember, right?
Measuring tapes. Yeah. But I went back and I got pencil cases that were very much like these.
Oh, nice.
So I upgraded and I used.
Dawn, I would love to have you back next year if you're available.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No worries. I enjoyed it so much. I love the thing that what's their face did, the cardboard.
Yes.
That sounded like a really fun one.
That was fun. Yeah.
Yeah, and I feel like with the Jedi robes, it was kind of that free form of here, this is a basic robe, make what you want, and people really did, and I think the creativity is so much fun.
If I have to run an extra shop at Creators Con, I'll probably do that freeform cardboard one.
Yeah, even freeform, cheap foam.
Yeah.
Because foam's your thing, but
yeah, but I don't mind the cardboard because cardboard's cheap and free.
Yeah.
The other thing about the Harbor Freight pouches is it has this little pocket you can, from whichever direction the top, you can slide your business card into. I picked these labels. I picked these up for work because I'm putting together the camera department and I've got all these little fiddly bits that need to be packaged and things. So I've been looking more at bags, and the fact that I can get lots of these and they'll be uniform, which appeals to me, and I can put my business card in them. Yeah, this is what I like.
Nice.
Even though that is a better bag in every way.
I used one of those binder circle rings.
Yeah.
And hooked them all together.
There you
go. So if you wanted to put all of your bags together on a ring.
On a ring. Okay. I was considering just, putting some of these on it.
Carabiners. But I'm just saying you can attach
No, the ring's a great idea too.
You can attach multiple together.
Yeah. I've got some larger split rings too for like keychains. I can always put the split ring on it first.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's when I would do touch-up makeup, because I'm not a makeup artist. I never pretend to be, but I do styling, and oftentimes they just need you to not be shiny. I would put each individual actors, have a bag for them, and then I would attach those bags all together on a big ring that I could hang from my wrist.
Yep.
And then each person would have their own big brush for powder, their own chapstick, their own makeup wipes, and stuff like that. So each person had their own bag. Yeah. And I could keep things separate, but together. And these
everybody having their own bag is also really nice because you don't want to cross-contaminate brushes between different people's faces.
Exactly. And when you're putting a used brush back in the container, you wash the brush, you don't wash the container. That's just gross. Yeah. So each bag gets their own. Yeah. And usually I put a Ziploc bag inside of these bags to help with the contamination because
that makes sense.
I don't want to get the inside of this bag all makeup-y.
Yeah, that makes sense. I'm probably going to be putting cables and microphone bits.
Like it's all different stuff.
Right,
like it
but no, that totally makes sense.
But these things are great for organizing, and I definitely appreciate this whole Ryobi system.
Oh, yeah. I do think you can get these from Home Depot. I think they're like $10 or $12 for the Ryobi bag. But it's a much heavier grade fabric, heavier zipper. Everything about this is better.
This is like my work purse.
Construction-wise. Yeah.
It's my work purse. It always has like a hot glue gun and all the cosplay repair things that I need for the particular project.
So now you have another piece.
That's why I was like,
oh look, it'll match. Yeah.
Because I'm obsessed with mine of these, and now, yes. So thank you.
Totally. You're welcome.
It's the little things.
I get it. I actually do get it.
No,
yeah.
I know. That's...
yeah, it's like, oh, hey, and this is, yeah.
I like the portability of, because I don't work in my space. Like, I do work in my own personal space, but most of my work that I do is on site.
Yeah, you're going to go
as a contractor. And
so
so I'm always having to bring my equipment. I always have to bring my safety pins. It's like, I need to be an expert, and I need to be there, and I can't bring my studio. I have to bring things travelable.
Yeah.
So that's why I was obsessed with the hot glue gun, the power,
yep,
the cordless everything. So yeah, yay! Stupid little things that make me happy. Craft supplies.
Craft supplies.
So what's your favorite craft supply? Period. Like if you got one craft supply to use.
Only ever?
Only ever.
So
what would it be?
Are tools craft supplies?
No.
Okay. No? So a hobby knife doesn't count?
No, but I could see that being yours.
Favorite single craft supply?
Yeah, like if you were to fix things, you had to fix general things.
Gaff tape.
I was like, I'm between gaff tape and a needle and thread.
Yeah. Gaff tape.
Gaff tape. Gaff tape, yeah.
So if you want to load
this is gaff tape, by the way. It's not duct tape.
Correct.
It is gaffer's tape, so it is sticky but not too sticky.
Right.
So it doesn't destroy things, but it holds.
Right.
And it's fabric backed.
Well, it doesn't destroy equipment. It's still strong enough to pull the laminate off of your floor.
Yeah. It rips easily, and it is a fabric.
It's a fabric cloth back. It is a non-shiny. Duct tape is glossy. Gaff tape is not glossy.
And it doesn't have strings. You know how when you tear things, there are little strings, but it's not like...
It's not the reinforced duct tape that has the big weave in it, almost a cheesecloth weave.
Yeah.
And a gaffer is pretty much the lighting guy on set, I think. Or it could be the guy, because the rigger is the one that hangs the stuff and rigs up the scaffolding and stuff. So all the stuff I showed in the very beginning, a little bit, you saw some hanging cables and stuff, that would be rigging. Gaffing, I believe, is setting up the lighting gear. Shop Gremlin, feel free to correct me if I got this wrong, because you're the one person I know that would know. So gaff tape was specifically designed to be easily releasable off of their rigging and gaffing equipment without leaving a residue, and because it's not shiny, it doesn't reflect back to the camera.
Yeah. It disappears easily.
Yes. It's available in multiple colors.
Yeah.
And the good stuff runs $20 a roll.
Right. Yeah. At Smosh, I used to have these in every color on a rope, because we used them to fix everything. Like, it's go time. I need to cover up this logo. Used it in every color. Yeah. So, I was just curious, because, like, in the back of my head, since I was a little kid, I've been obsessed with tape.
Yeah.
And safety pins, or needle and threads, you know, because you can make so many things.
I have sat down with a box of, in the 80s, I sat down with a box of paper clips and tape and needle nose pliers, and I made braces / power armor for my Star Wars action figures. Or the G.I. Joes, I think, because they had the moving elbows. Yeah. By bending all the wires and stuff. So, I get it.
Yeah, the paper clips, I made a bracelets out of bending them to make the little hook rings and swirls. And yes, I've been obsessed. Yeah.
So more gaff tape.
Little gaff tapes.
Micro roll that's only 1 inch wide instead of 2 inch wide on a smaller roll, and then the different colors. So these are 1/2 inch with black, white, blue. Yeah. Very useful. I like the dangly rolls. I've seen a couple of guys on different sets do this as a way that it's your tape roll. As far as being on set, this is really useful. These usually end up being taken apart at Cosplay Repair, because this isn't useful in a table setting where I just need a little bit of blue. It's like, why is all this other shit on here? I get that. But when you need to be mobile, this is fantastic.
Right? Definitely.
Michael Lakuta for Star Trek: The Next Generation. Michael Lakuta was the set dresser and the designer. He ended up with rolls of thin gaff tape and pinstripe tape from the automotive store, the majority of the panel lines in the hallways and in the sets is him doing tape art in order to create more texture on the Enterprise, because the set guys built a flat wall, made it smooth, painted it gray, and went home. So then Michael has to come in and put in all those panel lines. So the majority of the panel lines, even the touch screen computer panels, those are clear plastic. On the backside, Michael cut up gels and used tape and electrical tape and stuff to make all the color outlines and everything else. Yeah. So tape put Star Trek together.
Right. And then I use between gaff tape and decorative duct tape with like all the fun patterns to make the shoes for like Smosh when they needed crazy looking shoes.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, decorative duct tape. This was a tie-dye duct tape.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah. So it was just a gradient of color as the roll came out.
Yeah. Duct tape and prayers, people can build a lot of things. Yep. Just saying.
Yep. Hang that up for now.
Let's see.
Triplets. Shady, Shady Bear, or JC, Shady. Dan Does Junk has also put the link up a couple of times. Shady is venturing into the world of creating his original artwork and turning it into t-shirts, and he wanted to share that with everybody. Shady's been a very active member on Discord and on our Minecraft server for a few years. I'm happy to call him my friend. So I didn't have a problem with promoting his t-shirt during the live stream. We've got his first bit of artwork saved up on the still frame, which hopefully my lovely assistant will help us cut to here in just a second.
Oh, yes.
What happened is Shady drew up his original.
How do I select that?
You would hit still. It's one of the tiny buttons next to 4.
There you go.
Shady drew the original pencil artwork and then fed that into AI. So it looks like it's AI. Well, it is. But he did the original pencil artwork and then, like a comic book, let the computer ink it and then color it. And then when he got it back, he then tweaked it even more. So this isn't just AI generated. This is Shady's original art that he made. It's he was calling it earlier, I missed it, the 3 Vixens in the Wasteland. He's very happy with Joe and the apocalyptic wasteland stories right now. So there's a link in the description Dan's been sharing for the t-shirt that Shady made using this artwork on it. And I think it's great that Shady is finding a new outlet for his art. And I think it's really cool that he's found a way to get t-shirts made, because that's something I always had interest in. So very cool.
Nice.
Yeah. All right. I'm going to go dig and find the leather punch, because that'll work well for this.
That would work very well for that. I'm like looking at all these punch holes and I'm like, yes, that one's the perfect size, but I don't want to destroy that.
Yes.
Because I feel like this would destroy that. That's why you don't use fabric scissors on anything else, because then you can't use it on fabric again. And those are great foam cutting tools that you would like to continue. It isn't.
It must be that one.
Probably, because that's the one I didn't open, because it's way too far down for me to get it to it. Your Legos aren't stacked correctly for me.
The Ryobi pack-out kits are nice, but...
Order of operations matters.
Yeah.
But I like the ones that have the drawers further down, because you can access them when they're stacked. Yes. Okay. Godalope says, hey Godalope. Louis Cossi says, I use a silver pop open train case that holds makeup, great bits and bobs and batteries. Yes, good case. Dan Does Junk says, foam. Godalope says, foam.
Foam. What's your favorite tool? Foam.
Louis,
They're not wrong.
Right?
I'm going to be striking a metal striker with a metal hammer in just a minute. So those of you with headphones on, you're going to have a loud ting, and I'm sorry.
Be wary. Yep. Louis Cossi says, Felicia's favorite tool is the toupee tape. It's a form of tape.
Yeah, it is a tape. Yes.
It is a tape. I do love
Absolutely.
tapes.
Yes. That very quickly became my favorite as well.
Right? Isn't that stuff amazing?
Yes, it
is. You can
is.
stick it directly over your eyebrows and not lose your eyebrows when you pull it off, and it'll stay all day. So that means you can have like crazy eye prosthetics or appendages or crazy brows, and you're not going to lose your eyebrows.
On the front of the X tool behind the laser should be the curly Q mustache that Felicia made 2 years ago or 3 years ago for Mechagodzilla. And that's still the same piece of tape that you stuck on there.
Yeah, probably.
It's gone through the wash.
And it still is repositionable.
It is still repositionable. Yes.
Yes. Dan Does Junk says, okay, chat, your turn to answer. What's your favorite #1 craft supply?
Thank you, Dan. Way to be inclusive when we totally missed the mark.
And Sean Card says, I used to make bracelets from paper clips. Right? Especially the colorful ones. You'd sit in somebody's office and you're bored, so you'd start putting together in patterns and stuff. Or was that just me?
Okay, we ready for this? If you got headphones on, if you're being sensitive about sound, I'm going to strike the hammer, and this might be a loud sound, depending on how well the microphone does its noise compression.
You have been warned.
Yeah, tried a couple of times.
It did it. It popped it right out. That's the perfect little tool.
And I'm not so worried about this tool. Unlike the foam one, this one's whatever. So one more for today.
Yeah. Yeah, this is meant for cutting out leather, so
Yeah.
I don't feel bad cutting out tape and wire with that.
Copper wire. No.
Yeah, no. But the foam cutter.
Yeah, that's such a little delicate thing. That needs
it's
to do little delicate
seed enough.
things. Yeah, it's seen enough disaster too.
Right?
Okay. Now I just got to get the cut pieces out.
Louis Cossey's break is over. He has to get back to work.
Oh,
Andale.
hey, Louis. Yeah, he's at a con doing meet and greet.
Yeah.
So he sent something in, and we will be opening those up and looking at those next week.
Oh, cool. Ad Vixen says, except horror movies, fabric, scissors, and leather skins work hand in hand. That's their favorite. Craft supplies, I'm guessing. Yeah, fabric scissors are amazing. I do not have patience for dull scissors.
Agreed.
Because, like, I've done it, because, like, the right tool for the job makes it easier, but it's not going to stop me not having the right tool for the job, but I do not fight with scissors anymore. I just refuse to. You just get the sharp scissors.
There's your wafers of gaff tape and wire, and the top layer of the
Little sandwiches.
MGF. Yeah.
The little sandwiches.
Little biscuits. No, absolutely. In fact, probably part of my...
So perfect. Look at that. Cute.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, look at that.
Little plug. And we're not distorting the wires.
No, we're not distorting the wires.
And they're pretty secure together with the tape.
So she and I have talked many times about razor knives over scissors. And honestly, you talking about having dull scissors is probably why I went with razor knives. Not realizing my dislike of scissors was because all the ones I had were just dull.
Yeah. I did not like rotary tools. I was very anti-rotary tool. Turns out I don't like dull rotary tools.
Yeah. So remember, keep your tools sharp and in good working order, and you're going to be much happier with them.
Right? Oh my gosh. It makes a difference, like...
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. And Dan Does Junk says, my favorite craft supply is a toss between hot glue and super glue. So you like glues. Just make it general, and then they includes both.
You know, I'm not going to lie, hot glue was one of the first things that came to mind. It's like, nah, tape.
Agreed. Like, I do love glue.
Yeah.
Glue is a great, but I feel like I would choose tape over glue, even though it's not for every application.
Next up is Glue's Clues, right? Is that So the pencil line is the part that goes up, right?
Yep.
So that goes on, and then
It gets
hopefully this will go through everything. That was a concern. I think I did 1/4 inch, so the 1/4 inch screw.
Well, if you put these all together and then put it onto the thing.
Fine. She's not wrong. Yeah, it's just gumming up in the tape right now.
Shady says, you just help the algorithm and push it. So,
And push it. Oh, yes, good.
for his shirt. So.
Yeah, absolutely. No, it's cool. Shady, keep doing more designs. It's neat.
James Allens has to go back to work. Lame. No.
Sorry,
Y'all.
James.
Right. Honestly, I like having background noise while I'm working.
Yeah.
And now that I'm back into making things again,
Yeah,
I have that background noise that I like
we
to
go.
just listen, because I don't have to listen intently, and people are crafting while I'm crafting, so it doesn't feel so lonely in my hole.
Yeah, it depends on what I'm doing. I've absolutely done that with crafting when I didn't have the cameras rolling. I was listening to Tested or listening to other podcasts. But if I'm editing and I got to pay attention to words, I can't have a second set of words going on. And I end up listening to instrumental music.
Right. I can agree with that.
There we go. We got
Mighty Guitar Mod says, order of operations does matter. A fifth of scotch matters more.
Okay.
Ralph Mork, does that count as a crafting supply?
Which? The fifth of scotch? Yes.
Oh, no, Ralph Mork says, in my case, it would be fire.
Oh, okay.
Does that count as a crafting supply?
Or is that a tool?
I feel like that's a tool.
That's a tool.
I feel like actually that's an element.
Fine.
No, but if...
It is.
Yeah. Crafting tool. I think I agree with you, but... I think metal would count as a crafting supply.
Yeah, that would be a supply, yeah.
I guess.
That's what you are crafting, like I'm crafting foam.
Like material would be like foam, because like I don't think I have a favorite one of those, but
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know what the realms of our scope is.
Right, because you're making it up. It was
Yeah.
it was a fun question to ask, and now you're being asked parameters on something that was just arbitrary when you first did it.
It's okay. I enjoy the arbiters.
Oh, that's good.
J period says hot glue is fantastic, Dan. I once basically hot glue welded a Punisher vest back together for the day of a can. LOL. I'm assuming he said con. But...
I think I remember that Punisher vest. Is that the one I've seen? I think that's a good vest.
Yeah. Well, we did the hot glue and painter's tarps to make those Jedi robes, which could...
Still worked. Somebody was wearing one the Lodecon that they upgraded. Yeah.
Yeah, like they hold together.
Yeah.
It's if they melt, if they break apart, you can literally just iron it back together.
Yeah.
I suggest putting a piece of aluminum foil between your iron and the thing so that you're not melting
Yeah.
the glue directly to the iron.
Yeah.
But it's just the matter of smooshing it with heat. Heat gun,
Yep.
iron, hot thing, fire.
Literally hot glue, a variation on the idea of hot glue anyway, is how they stitch carpet together. You get the two edges of the carpet go together against what is effectively a hot glue. Yeah.
Well, our hot glue guns are meant for. Sorry, my brain is totally turning off. But
we're getting close to
industrial hot glue guns. Like
Yeah.
they use them in in home construction.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what our hot glue guns are technically meant for, and I think that's what the bigger one is better for. Like.
Oh, our Ryobi ones.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, I guess originally they had the hot glue guns at first, and then they started to decide to make hobby tools,
Yeah.
crafting tools.
Yeah, but at the furniture manufacturing place, they had like industrial hot glue guns. But the thing is those got the glue way too hot.
Yeah.
Just way too hot. And,
Yes.
And I get why people want it that hot, but also the practicality of it, there is a way too hot, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And I'm not all low heat hot glue guns. I appreciate a good hot glue gun, but there is too hot.
But that goes back to using it for the carpet and for the upholstery, where you really need the glue to get into what you're working with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there is still too hot, in my opinion.
Yeah.
What are we looking at? How that goes together.
Yeah.
Okay.
So now comes the fun part of we only get to really wad this up once. So it looks like it folds in half and then folds in half again.
You get a good twirl in there.
Get kind of a good twirl in there.
And then it goes through the little loopy thing.
And it goes to the little loopy thing.
So, should we...
So, I wonder if...
We...
Interesting. So we did this nice side up and then immediately you're folding it to where... But whatever.
But we can also go in like that so that it keeps the nice side more visual.
Well, I was...
Trying to copy theirs.
Trying to copy theirs. I was actually talking to someone about how they're trying to make the Vinkman pack, and he spent hours folding his to get it to fold just like the Vinkman pack.
And that is the back side that we are looking at.
Okay.
But I like the other side better because it's prettier. But
well,
we can flip it.
Okay. Can.
We were not committed.
No, we're not committed yet.
And I like the prettier side better.
There's the part of me that's like, no, you did that step. Don't do it again. It's going to be worth it to flip it. I'm excited that we may actually get the ribbon cable put on, in addition to everything else we were talking about and screwing around with today. Sorry you didn't touch your project. You are welcome to keep bringing that here until you get it done.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I do need to work on that, and I don't want to. My brain is not on it yet right now.
Okay. It is okay.
Okay. Well, today is the last weekend in this month, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
And I said I would do it.
This month?
Yeah, that's okay.
So
I'll
now-
work on it later.
Okay.
But my brain is just not on it right now.
Okay.
It's okay.
There it is.
I heard it.
I got its nuts to drop. Okay. Didn't mean to depress you.
No, it's okay. I'm looking at Cotton's comments. Godalope says, since I have a critical role coming splay, I 3D print little coins for coin trinkets that match the character. That's cool.
Okay.
I like it when people have little thingamajigs that they pass around.
Yes.
Spread like the plague in a good way. You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally. Okay, so we need to remember for the other one that because with this ribbon cable, there's definitely a noticeable.
These aren't lining up.
Oh shit, that's right.
Because I had it all set up.
Set for the other side. I
So
wasn't
our
even
circles
paying
don't
attention
work.
to that. No, the circles will totally work. Well, the circle should work because it's only 2 points. If it was 3 points, they wouldn't work.
Yeah.
It should still work.
I just have to trim back my back.
Yeah.
Okay, I will do that. It's easy
Sorry.
enough. Oh, you're fine. We know now.
All right. So.
Why is it dull only on this part, and this part's still shiny?
Oh, maybe we just gotta. Maybe that one's just dull. I assume that's the way they all were. Maybe it's just the way that one is.
No, I know.
Where's the other?
This
oh,
side
see
is
over here.
prettier than this side. I was just kind of curious. Is that a us thing or is that a?
No, this one's the same.
Okay.
And it's also just part of it is dull, and part of it is still pretty. So I don't know. I'm just glad that this cable is available.
I'm just gonna peel this back and then trim it.
Yep.
With the little scissors.
100% what you should do because the holes are in place. Burger King not a sponsor yet. Sean Carter. Watching my balls print as I watch the stream. Yep.
Okay.
That's what Dan's saying.
This should work now.
Growing
I
old is
peeled it
mandatory. That's right.
This
You're
should
happy
work.
with that now?
It should work.
All right. So bottom up. So it goes
Top
here.
down.
Top down.
Goes there.
Goes there.
Here's one screw.
Thank you. I will just go ahead and put it through this part first. Then I'll put it through this part, which that's the part that's grippy, which is probably good. And then that, because more than likely the leather punches are in millimeters and not a true 1/4 inch. So it's not.
It'll hold it a little bit
Oh,
better
yeah.
than.
Yeah, it'll just be. It's just a snugger fit. Okay. And now stick my hand inside this This is one of those details that really sort of makes it start to become the thing, you know, for me.
We obsessed with that for weeks.
Oh
And
gosh, did
weeks.
we? And weeks.
And weeks.
And we still have it in the box up there. I haven't fully, thrown it
Destroyed
into a fire yet.
Because we worked so hard on the part that we have to let go. 'Cause
Yes.
we got much better.
Well, I was also going to say, because we're in California, it would be illegal for me to have that much toxic fire. No, it's, yeah. I just haven't let go of it. Dan helped too. It was great. He brought lots of extra colored cable that was pretty. And so, future Odin, if you ever make another Proton Pack, I'm not. Put the ribbon cable on before you put the motherboard on. When you have full access.
But we didn't know that yet.
I thought this would be easy enough to do. And it's not too bad, but...
Just kind of smoosh it and you smoosh it.
Well, I can only use my index finger and my middle finger to try and fit the nut over the end of the threads and get it
Do
started.
you need me to reach in there?
Yeah, would you? Because it's just doing this and it's not grabbing. Thank you. Sorry.
No, it's okay. Look it, I got it.
Godalope, lunch break over, back to work. Thank you, Godalope.
Okay, that one's on.
Oh, nice. Sean Carg made his first YouTube video and name dropped Odin Makes. Thank you, Sean. Hey, everybody. Sean Carg now has a YouTube channel. If you click on his name here in chat, it should also take you to his YouTube videos. I'm not sure what the content is, but knowing Sean, it's probably really cool because I do believe Sean was the one that sent me the all we couldn't find.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, there's the link.
There. Oh, nice.
Thank you, Dan Does Junk.
Thank you, Dan Does Junk. Dan, I really appreciate having you as a moderator. You do a fantastic job and are on top of things. Nice.
I feel like it could be tighter, but...
It could be. When I did it last time, I ended up tightening it from this side because I've got a tool that is supposed to go, I don't even have, as long as it's touching the foam, it'll grip. Because just doing it finger tight is good enough. It's foam. If I was to use the Ryobi drill on this, it would just crush and ruin the foam. So snug and snug. Good enough.
Justin Diaz says, "Hi, Odin. I'm making a wooden axe."
Nice, Justin.
That is awesome. Okay. Here's the this.
There's the that. So it still looked like it kind of folded a little bit, and then it folded in half again in order to go through that thing, which I guess I'm going to get my fold up a little higher. I can see why it took the guy I was talking to, which I think it goes the other way, I think.
Okay.
It hangs.
And I don't know where the screw is for that one.
It's over here.
It's over on that side.
Yeah. And this may have to be, oh, I forgot a piece to my...
Advixen says, "I agree, you don't need to make another Proton Pack, but do glue the two packs together and make a Thanos pack."
Thanos pack!
Oh, Sean Card says, "I won a prize from Evil Ted, so I did a reaction video."
Oh, nice.
He's jelly.
Yeah.
He's a big fanboy.
Oh, I'm a huge fanboy of Evil Ted. That's great.
Yeah. I've been hearing about Evil Ted since way back in the Smosh days.
Yep. Oh, I watched this thing from Evil Ted. I'm going to use his tutorial to make my thing.
And his templates and his
template. Yep. Oh, yeah. You've heard way too much of that.
Oh, yeah.
So then this, I guess this
shoved
still
into there.
kind of coils pretty good.
Yeah.
And it just gets shoved, just gets shoved down into there. Probably with some glue. I'm shoving.
I was going to say, it's holding.
It's not quite in yet.
Yeah. I don't like that harsh angle.
I don't either. I was looking at that going, I don't like that. Yeah, basically.
Well, smoosh it more that way and put more of the slack on that side of the thing.
I think it needs more.
Yeah. Justin Diaz says, "I love your videos, and when will that dang pack be done already?"
If it was a video, well, actually, if it was a paid shoot, if we had to have this ready for someone else's thing,
we could be done.
We could be done. Honestly, we spend
more time talking.
And chit-chatting and
being distracted by, look at this shiny object.
Hey, I got mail from somebody. Which, honestly, is fun, and I think is more the point of the stream than getting something built and accomplished. I think it's, and I didn't realize that when we started doing this. It was like, oh yeah, that'd be fun, a way to do it without having to edit. But, no, it became a way to interact with you guys outside of a con setting, because this is, you know, what happens at a Comic-Con a lot, right, is we end up talking about, what we're working on, brainstorming with people who walk up about how to help them work on stuff, and that's what the live stream's all about. For me, at this point, is getting a chance to talk to you guys. It's fun.
Mm-hmm. Hey, looks good. Let me do this real quick.
Yeah, you do it. Yeah, go ahead.
There you go. Now it's in.
Good. Thank you.
I have little
13-year-old brains. Okay. So how? We'll just pour some glue in there. We should probably do something to make that be a little more permanent inside the hole.
What if we took this piece and put it around a little plug so it just plugs?
I'm not going to lie. I was thinking about that. That's why the wooden dowels are over there. Yeah.
I don't think that's half bad of an idea because it just pops in and out. Then,
okay.
Yeah. It's not that bad of an idea. What are we talking about? see how it goes into a tube? If we put something in it to keep it this circle shape, then we can easily plug it into this hole that you can't see.
Right.
Right.
It's way deep inside the pack.
There. You guys see it right there, the black and the darkness?
In the black and the darkness.
I was gonna say camera 4. See this spot right here.
Yeah.
Is where this needs to get.
So I want to know if
into.
Is this the
right size?
Or is this one too big still? I'm trying to do it by looking at the screen.
That's the worst way to do it. There you go. That's perfect because it gives you wiggle room to fit the...
Okay. I'll cut some of this off. And then the original packs, that's pretty much all they did. It just went straight into the motherboard. It didn't have anything special.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I think cutting off a...
That way it can just pop in and pop out.
Okay.
J Period says, the live stream is a virtual shared makerspace. It's the best.
Yes.
I agree with that.
I like that.
Yeah. Maker's gonna make. I think it should be shorter than that. Like, an inch.
Okay.
I have opinions, sorry.
Yeah, that's fine.
Nobody can see you or what you're doing.
No, but that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
You're on screen, so it's not like they're left alone in the room.
No. Ralph Mork says, indeed, these streams are great, and joining the Discord is the best way to interact with all their creative people in here.
Thank you, Ralph.
Yeah. Thank you, Ralph. Yes.
Yes. If you enjoy the streams, I mean, we don't do a lot of video interaction on Discord, but if you enjoy the streams and enjoy that interaction with me, with Felicia, with Gremlin, with Dan, then jump over to the Odin Makes Discord. That is a private Discord. To get access, you want to go to patreon.com/Odin Makes and join the Discord level, and you will get this type of information access from all of us and everyone else who's already on the Discord all the time. And it is, I enjoy it.
Do you think this? No.
I think, yeah, I do.
You do?
Yep.
Yeah?
Yep, gonna wrap that around the wood. And to make the yep, I do.
Yeah, okay.
Yep.
So we were picking up.
Yep. We were thinking the same thing, but I was like trying to think about how do I
say this without.
How do I breach this to Felicia? I think we should put double stick tape on the wooden plug in order to help make the but the tape you hate.
It is the tape I hate, but it's not. Okay. It's a little tall, but that'll be fine. Ugh, this stuff is the worst. I love it.
You got those yellow scissors? There you are.
Yes, I do.
That's
somewhere.
Much better for attaching them. Streaming after this at Ralph? Yes. Awesome. So Ralph Mork, who has made parts for this pack, he custom forged some aluminum V-hooks for the wands to be able to attach to these packs. He's going to be live streaming in a little bit. Now, he's probably not live streaming his metalworking. He's probably live streaming his Minecraft channel that he's been working on. But honestly, Ralph is a really nice guy. He's a really patient guy. He has a very calm and relaxing way of speaking. And he spent a couple of weeks with me when I was first playing Minecraft, talking through how he did things, how he thought the game would work, and it really helped me a lot. So thank you, Ralph. I really appreciate all of your insight and patience with the newbie when I was, new to Minecraft 2 or 3 years ago, however long it was now, or shoot, might even be 4. So yeah, streaming with Ralph should be a lot of fun. There, sanded that one. Actually, let me wipe some of the sand dust off.
I don't know what I'm doing. I'm figuring it out.
You're fine. Just trim with tape. Oh, that could work too. Scissors, yeah.
I figured this one could be down this way.
Okay, that sounds good.
And this it can be trimmed.
No, just leave it if you're just putting it inside the wire.
Yeah, that's true.
You just want to make sure your plug is slightly proud or flush with the bottom of the wire, but the wire isn't cut square, so it's not gonna.
Thank you, appreciate that. There we go.
Well, that is almost exactly the right.
Exactly right.
Yeah. Wow. That is.
Camera 4.
the diameter of
Other way. Yeah.
So the width of the cable, right, when it's flat, that width is pretty much the correct circumference to go around the wooden plug with the tape.
Show them the end. See, we put the little dowel in there.
Yeah, got the dowel inside, and there's tape on it.
Put it in there. It's sticky on the side because of that stupid tape. I mean, that tape.
Yeah, that stupid tape.
All right.
Here, let me get you some slack.
No, it's okay. I was just going to see.
Okay.
I was just folding this so it bent a little bit nicer
Okay.
before I shoved it in there. Now it's all in there.
All right.
There you go.
And that's all mashed as it's going to be mashed?
It's mashed.
Smooshed it?
Smooshed it.
All right. And that gives us, let's unzoom.
And
Gives us a ribbon cable.
yep.
We have one done. So we can do this first thing next stream, or we want
It
to do
is 2 o'clock, isn't it?
Yeah, we don't want to do this off camera, right? We've done this once. We want to do this pretty quickly on the next one, then move on.
Yep.
But we actually have the ribbon cable put on the Proton Pack, which is really cool because this is one of the details that even in the original movie I remember looking at, thinking that the extra weird wires that weren't inside was a really cool texture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like rainbows.
Yeah.
I like colors.
Yeah.
It looks like it's too legit to quit. We got to get it on an Alice pack.
Yep.
And greebles. We
And
have all those
greebles.
greebles.
We have more greebles. Some of them were already put on, but a lot of those greebles are come off from here. There's a lot of like piping that goes on.
Yeah, but now this is on, so we can.
Yeah, we
can
need
get
to do the
going with
piping.
that,
Something I will probably do off camera because the amount of time for doing it is work on the bustard collectors, I always want to call it a bustard ran scoop, but I swear that's what the front of the Enterprise has. But there's some sort of the double tube collector that goes in the bottom here. Even on the original packs, it is got a flat plate that is then bolted. So might be as simple as cutting out the foam, making an extra thick wooden piece that the PVC goes into, and then it all glues in. Yeah, so that's probably what I'm going to end up doing, and I'll probably do that off camera, but we'll show how it goes together.
We keep saying that, but we'll see. There are things that you've done off camera, like all of those.
Yeah, I got a bunch of stuff printed. I got a bunch of stuff painted a couple weeks ago. I've got the bandsaws exposed, so I can cut those things. Yeah. That was part of the problem for me.
Vixen says, it's a twin prop. Feel free to bake the cake off camera.
Nice.
And then Danda's Junk says, I want some cake.
Yeah, cake.
And Ralph Mork says, great, I want cake too. Now too. So.
Yeah, Ralph, do you want American cake or do you want some of that good tasting European cake that doesn't have 8 pounds of sugar in it? It's okay. I've just noticed that, cake definitely is. American tastes are way sugar oriented.
Are you sure? Because have you had Russian honey cake?
I've not had Russian honey cake. I'm just thinking cake in general.
Oh, I was just thinking of my old coworker. She used to make this honey cake, and it would be layer of cake, layer of honey, layer of cake.
That sounds great.
And it was like so decadent.
So, but you had just a little piece.
One slice, and I would just nibble on it for a week because it was so. Anyways.
I was wondering if the 40K base is. So this is the that hexagon. Camera 3.
3.
Sorry, thank you. So this is the hexagon piece that I didn't know where it went, right? So now if you go ahead and go back to 1. If that didn't go here on the grain silo, and then there's a piece that goes on top of it.
I thought you cut that off because you're going to put a better version.
Yeah, there's a 3D printed one.
Okay.
But yeah, this isn't quite
the right size and shape. Oh, camera. Which one's that?
Just
3.
go back to 3 again. Yeah. If this doesn't just go like this is the side of the grain silo, right? Does it go here? Because this is like the only spot that makes sense to me, unless it's part of the wand. Because if this is part of the wand, then whatever. Which it could be. I don't know where it goes.
Where's the other ribbon cable?
It's in front of the...
All right, I just want to keep these 2 pieces together because you cut it.
Okay.
Might as well have it stay together.
Blue tape.
There you go.
So then there's all this tubing that I bought in a frantic because, we're doing this next. Well, now we're 2 or 3 streams later. Still haven't touched it yet. I've got the 1/4-inch non-split tubing.
That we get to split?
That we get to split because, oh well. And then there's the 3/4-inch non-split tubing that goes in a similar place like that. So we've got our Borg pieces.
So we can start tubes.
Yeah, we can start tubes. That's all the greebles. We can start doing all that.
Yeah.
Alice packs are something else that I'm not sure how to present on screen because there's going to be a lot of figuring out, right? Because I'm going to be using the auto body snap screws that we liked, but there isn't an obvious tutorial on how to do that. So that's something else that may just happen, but we'll show how it works.
Okay.
Okay.
We'll see.
We'll be back in 2 weeks, I think. This will be the second week in May, right? May not. I'll have to... No, that should be okay. Because that's Lodi-Con, but I think Lodi is only on Saturday.
So... this next upcoming Sunday is the 4th.
It's the 4th.
And the next one is Mother's Day on the 11th.
On the 11th. Okay. Because I got 2 cons back-to-back in May. Oh, I don't see my... because I'm tired. There's my... April, May. So Lodi is on the 10th, right, and so the stream would be on the 11th. So I do plan on streaming on the 11th. My mother's in Oregon. I won't be able to be visiting her this weekend. So I will do a stream on Mother's Day on February 11th. It's okay if you can't make it. And then on the 17th and the 18th is Creators Con in Colorado Springs. I will be there on that weekend.
That's awesome.
And then on the 25th, we'll be back for another stream.
Okay.
So... the 11th and the 25th in May are the next 2 Odin Makes streams. How's that?
See you all there.
See you all there. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Thank you very much, Stupid Monkey, for new Legos. Congratulations, Shady, on having your new T-shirts made. And thank you very much to Louis Causey for all of his help and the extra stuff that we'll be showing off on the 11th. And then, of course, Sean Carg and Bryce New as well for all the help and tools that you've sent in the past. Nice.
And thank you, all you guys, for participating and joining us in this virtual makerspace.
Yes, welcome to the Odin Makes virtual makerspace. If you want to see more of Felicia, are you still streaming?
No, I haven't. Not this year.
Not this year, not yet. But she will again. You can see lots of the archived streams over on Behind the Scenes Fashions.
Yes.
Right here on YouTube. And where you've walked us through making all sorts of things.
I've made like Wednesday's collar.
Yeah.
I've made things that I can't remember off the top of my head.
Because I didn't give her any time. But she's made lots of stuff figuring things out and dissected a suit and how a suit went together. So, yes. Anyway, thank you all for tuning in. It is time for us to have lunch.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Here, I'll trade.
Okay. I realized why the mouse was acting up. I think it's just out of range over there. There's too much junk in the way. Never cross the stream, says Sean. Excellent. Ace says, take care. Ace, thank you again for your the extra long patience you had with our voice chat the other day. There's the end stream. That's how tired I am. There we go.
Bye-bye.
Okay. Bye-bye.